I am just shocked at how fast they played this.
You're shocked at Shaq?
Yeah.
So you're saying you shook your head because you were shocked at Shaq?
Yeah.
That's
what
true.
I'm saying, Dr. Zeus.
Yeah. Is it butter or is it marginally butter? Marginally. Yeah, maybe.
Can it be both? Not really.
It can be. Yeah. Actually, I think I hear a newborn streaming right now.
Yeah, loud blurring music. Okay, well now everything should be okay.
Oh yeah, we're the best.
Well, that was just a test, everybody, to see if you could tell the difference between our voices and Epic Music, and you've passed.
Nice.
Well done.
Uh-oh, somebody's complaining that they can hear us now. Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Darn.
That person's rude. We're going to kick them off the island.
Uh-oh. On the internet, I've never heard of such.
Yeah.
Never.
So, to start off our day, let's see who we have leading the divisions here. I have standings for the Pacific Division here.
Solid.
Popping over this opening position from the Ruy Lopez. So now what we can see is up at the top of the standings, Chengdu Pandas and Dallas Destiny, tied with 4.5 out of 5 apiece, which is an incredible match record.
Yeah. Look at the point in game points differential. That's crazy.
And the game points differential is pretty intense as well.
Wow.
The Pandas have had some dominating days, whereas the Dallas Destiny, I think their MO so far is the 8.5, 7.5 squeak by. So we see them with not tremendously high numbers of game points, less game points than the 5th place San Jose Hackers, but 2 points more match record. And it'll be the Hackers who will today take on the Chengdu Pandas. That's going to be a featured match today because although they're in 5th place, the Hackers are the perennial, incredibly good lineup, get lots of game points, and then they're the ones who probably are specializing in getting 7.5, 8.5. Or the
it's amazing. I'm always like, I think the Hackers will win. I think the Hackers will win. And then the one match that I missed,
the only one,
podcast with Hess.
Yep.
The Hackers destroyed everybody, and I didn't see it.
Yep.
Very sad.
Those who believe in nonsense would say that your presence here for today's broadcast will condemn the Hackers to another loss. But other people would say it's the Pandas that would condemn them to another loss.
Pandas are pretty good. Yeah. Some people say I look like a panda. Maybe that's why I root for the Pandas. I knew there was a good reason for that.
That was your reason for being interested in the Pandas.
Yeah. Uh-oh, I have to blink because they told me so in the chat.
The chat told you to blink?
They did.
To prove that you could hear them, huh?
That's correct. Well, to prove that I could read.
Okay.
Yeah, I am no longer illiterate. So,
excellent, Ben. I'm glad you've been working on yourself since last week.
A good Simpsons quote. Yeah.
All right. So I imagine everybody who can read numbers will have absorbed the standings by now. So I'm going to switch us back to the games. Boink. There we go. Some would call this a Benoni, which we've gotten in some trouble for making fun of the Benoni in past broadcasts. In past broadcasts. But this is actually the Ruy Lopez. So maybe we could get away with saying that Black's position is looking like some baloney.
Well, we might make fun of the Benoni, but we're in good company. I think Yasser was making fun of it before we were born.
Probably.
So, yeah. Yeah, the Benoni is not played very often at the top level. However, pretty recently, Caruana played it a couple of times. Surprised me. And obviously, one of the biggest proponents died recently at a very young age, Vugar Gashimov.
Yeah.
And he played the Benoni every game, and he was the only 2,700 player that would do that all the time.
Yeah, he's the only player in the last 30 years to prove that the Benoni was okay. And as a Benoni player, I played through his games again and again, and I could never understand how to emulate it. So I don't know how it worked, but it did for him.
Topolov played the Benoni a few times and had some nice victories, but that wasn't his number one opening.
Yeah, it was like picking his spot and his opponent and stuff like that. Right. But Gashimov would say like, hey, I will play the Benoni against you tomorrow. Are you ready to refute it? And nope. No such luck. What do you think of this f-pawn rushing forward?
Well, I think Michalewski decided, since he has black and he's playing the board 4, that this was sort of important that he wins.
Probably.
Yeah, it's unusual that this team has neither Sargsyan or Nakamura. So Michalewski playing board 1 is a little unusual.
Right, trying to fill Hikaru Nakamura's boxing gloves today.
Yeah, that's not the easiest of tasks, but that's okay because they get to have some good players on boards 2 and 3 as a result. So their team is pretty solid throughout. And this looks like, with white playing h3 and f3, and black having the e5 square, and on the queen side, I like black.
Yeah, I've never had this much space when
black
playing
has
the Benoni.
And he has the e5 square.
Yeah,
he's got everything.
This is pretty amazing, this e5 square, and white is weak on the dark squares in the center and on the king side. So somehow black has the advantage, right?
No, I'd rather have black.
All right. Go
For
Benoni. Sure. Well, his opponent, Joshua Ruiz, is board 4 for the Osprey, but the Osprey often play a fairly balanced lineup. So their lowest board is, an IM rated just about 2,400 FIDE rather than some stacked lineups playing at 2,000 rated board 4. Let's check in on their board 1, which is Grandmaster Vladimir Belos. Wait, is he not even their board 1 today? All right.
So wait, Belos is
Q pairings.
Belos must be board 2 because he's playing Orlov, and Orlov's 3.
Yeah.
And two plays 3 in the first round. I remember that from getting crushed in the first round last year. I was board 3 for St. Louis. I always played board 2. So the truth hurts.
All right. So we need to see Mr. Bortnik.
I think Alexander Bortniak is board 1.
You're correct.
And he has the same handle as his name. So that makes it easy to find him.
Yeah. And he's playing Anthony He, who we keep saying is promising, just like a San Jose Hackers lineup, but promising, dangerous, 0-4 last week. So let's see him make good on some of that promise here.
Yeah, a young player on board 4 is usually the recipe to success.
Yep.
A young, underrated player. Yeah.
How do you like his position here against 2,600 FIDE rated Alexander Bortnik?
Both sides have very good knights. White's bishop is a little odd, but it's not a nice diagonal. So this is a double-edged position. I think Bortnik is probably happy because when you have the black pieces and you're playing the board 4, you need to mix it up a little bit. And this seems like he mixed it up a little bit. Although I don't, I'm not saying he has an advantage, but
no, I would.
Rook A7 really surprises me. Wow.
Well, I think he was concerned that F4 could come, and then there's Knight D7, Knight B6, Knight D7.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to put your rook on A7. The problem, it's funny, if white plays A5 to cement that rook in there, and then I play Knight C6, I could play rook A1, which is a weird line.
Nice move. Now, Anthony's got a draw here.
Yeah, right. He knows that his opponent has to play rook B8 to try to win. And that just loses, right? F4, Knight T7, Knight takes C5.
Yeah, is at least winning for white. All right, he goes for it. He'd rather lose than draw.
Right, I agree with that sentiment. But also he could play rook B to C8, so maybe he's okay.
Well, because his knight's presumably going to have to go to C6 here, is what I'm thinking. But then Knight D7, rook C8.
Oh, he played rook D6, which now what happens on Knight C8? White just wins material? Was that a blunder?
Looks like it.
Knight C8 just wins material, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, so that was weird because if he played Knight C6, Knight T7, rook 8, as you said, the knight's blocking the rook.
Yeah, because the only flight square for the knight was C6.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've tuned in just in time. We've tuned in just in time to see Anthony's promise.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's an exchange sacrifice or a blunder. I don't know. Like Knight C8, you take it? Oh, you can't take it. Oh, you can't. I play FE, you play rook D8. Yeah, okay.
Bishop C8, rook C8.
Yeah.
I mean, he could draw it if the youngster's inexperienced in endgames,
but after Knight C8, rook C8, I just take it and B7's hanging. Wow.
Yeah, that would be a solid move.
He played A5, so these guys see something that I don't.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I don't understand why Knight C8 just isn't great. I'm confused.
It is great. It is great.
Looks great.
I mean, what he's doing is great too. I mean, he can't not be winning at this point.
Oh, because of knight c6, I just do the same thing.
You can still go
knight d7,
knight d7. And then, you know, depending where the rook goes, you could possibly follow it with e5.
Right. Yeah, this is not good for black.
No,
Yeah,
but knight c8 was
definitely
the cleaner move. This a5 suggests that Anthony's not calculating quite precisely enough here.
Mm-hmm.
And with 9 minutes on the clock, I mean, you should check for your knockout.
Wow. Rook takes b6.
Mm-hmm. So c3 knight takes b2 would be a mistake now. Maybe e5? Maybe b4, and then on cb4, e5?
He played b3.
He plays a simpler looking move. All right. It's
Yeah,
true, the
this is-
knight won't be that great on b6 here.
This is just awful for black. Yeah.
That's simple enough.
Wow. That could be a very important game in the match if the board 4 can beat a board 1. Wow. g3, always preparing to play bishop f1 later. More likely e5 and bishop g2.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is just great for white.
it is. Whew. All right. Come on, Anthony. Convert that thing.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say convert that? You know what? No. Maybe.
No. Let's go to Orlov and Belousov because I'm not sure who the better player is.
Okay.
It's 2 KT
Fair point.
NGO versus Open Yagami.
Yep. And
I know you know David, but the people at home don't know how strong Orlov is. Also, they never heard of Orlov because they're too young.
makes it hard to know how good he is.
Orlov's good. Yeah, you don't mess with Orlov. Orlov's played in U.S. championships. He's been Grandmaster strength forever. And he basically just teaches chess, I guess, in Seattle and doesn't play very much. But he's a sleeping giant. He can beat anybody.
I mean, I would say his position is really good right now.
I agree with that.
Phew.
I would say he's winning.
Yeah.
He's got 2 bishops. The rook's hanging, h7's hanging, f4's hanging.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the e6 square.
And he only
White's-
needs to capture one of those 3 things to win, huh?
He's going to capture more than one.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do?
You can postpone it with a check, and if king
There you go.
h2, then all your problems are solved after
That's
pawn takes
correct.
bishop check.
Right. Yep.
So there's
Yeah,
that.
after king h1, I don't know what black's going to do. I guess we're going to find out.
No
I'm very
dice.
curious. This looks like just winning.
No dice. By the way, Ben, did you notice that Seattle starts with negative 0.5 points this round?
I did not notice that.
Some of our viewers have just noticed that.
The truth hurts. Making a substitution after the deadline.
Yeah, that's how you usually get those negative points, is when you change your players after you're supposed to have submitted your roster.
Yeah. Also, one of the players on the team said he thought that Jen Shahadi was more talented than Greg, and then he got half a point penalty for the team. I couldn't believe it.
That's the other way to do it,
Yeah.
I guess.
Terrible. Wow. Wow, we're seeing upsets on every board. All in favor of Seattle. Seattle's doing great.
That is a good start for them. Mikulevsky, if we check back in on him, he's got knights on e5 and d3. He's extended his outposts.
What's better, Black's Knights or White's terrible bishop on a2? That's terrible. The bishop on a8's not too good either. But,
All right.
but still, wow, those are great knights.
Yeah.
He's sacrificing material also, leaving his rook on c1.
Yeah. The thing is, this was a good practical choice, because it's not like either white rook is better than that knight when you're asking, you know, what piece is better than what.
Yep.
You might as well. And this way he gets some pressure on b5, d6, c4. He starts to get at Mikulevsky's pawn structure a little bit, creates some chances, maybe.
Yeah, because you want to weaken the c4 pawn so the bishop on a2 isn't so bad.
Yeah. So
You can
he
see
hasn't,
a lot of
he hasn't
upsets
lost
this
yet.
match. This could be the match of upsets. And the other whoa, we have a draw?
Where?
What's going on here? And the next match also started. Keaton Kirwa and his opponent's name I can't pronounce either of his
Okay.
names. They drew.
I
Very
I think I know who he's playing then.
Yeah, it was a 19 move draw.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so Keaton won't go 4-0 this week. Well, last
That's
week also he
correct.
drew one game. So
Yeah. Well, he was paired up FIDE 200. Why does it say Keaton Kirawa's rating is 2234? I call shenanigans.
that doesn't sound like his rating.
I don't believe any of that. I don't believe that's his
No.
FIDE or his USCF.
But meanwhile, Ben, it looks like that exchange sacrifice from Ruiz has left him with a totally good
Wow,
end
they
game.
made a lot of moves while I was looking away.
Doesn't he have a good end game? I mean, he's down in exchange, but he's got 2 connected pass pawns in the center, and look at the bishop on A8.
Yeah, I left for a second and all heck broke loose. Wow. No, this looks like White's just better here.
Right.
What's happening? So do I have a tactical? I don't have a tactical
So
trick.
nothing but upsets, basically.
Let me see. Is there a tactical trick here? I don't see it. I just see White winning.
Yeah, the tactic would have to be pretty darn tricky. I was thinking he might try knight d3 and trade one pair of rooks off to try and
but then-
reduce White's winning chances, but White's still...
But then when I play Bishop C4, your knight's trapped.
Yeah, there are some issues to deal with for sure.
Yeah. This is an easy win for White. Wow, those are great pawns. Yeah, I predict 4 upsets, even though I didn't see game 2 yet.
Right.
I'll just pick an upset randomly. Yeah. So we have a draw in the other match.
I guess the other game would be Mark Velashvili here against Guillermo Vazquez.
Yeah.
And looking at that, it looks complicated.
I like White.
Pieces are still on the board, but White's pieces are developed and Black's aren't. So your prediction of a blind upset was a safe one.
That's, well, it was safe. But probably we've never seen 4 upsets in the first round, and we never will again.
Yeah.
Like both board 4s beating both board 1s. That's both board 3s. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
crazy.
let's check in, see how Anthony's doing. His
Okay.
extra exchanges has evaporated.
Let's see.
Let's
What
see.
happened
Last
to
time
him?
we were here, he was playing G3 on move 25, A5, Bishop F1, A4.
Always play
And
Bishop
now he
F1.
plays Rook A1, but he misses D3. That's just a straight up massive blunder. Just forgetting that the bishop
yeah,
was on
G3 is
A1. It just throws
yeah.
away the entire advantage there in one move. And now he's got this endgame to play. Should still be drawable, but he could not afford a second blunder like that.
Yeah, now we won't see 4 upsets. I'm
Nope.
sad. Is it draw an upset or no? No, it's
Not massive.
No.
Something.
But 4 drawing 1 is pretty good.
It
You
is,
figure when
it
4
is.
draws the 1, you're going to do well. But if your other one loses or draws to the 4, then it gets rid of that.
Then it's not as impressive, yeah. So Mikulewski here, his knight's trapped on C1. He played this rook to B8 move, which we were kind of expecting after this trade. Check, check. Bishop C4, trapping the knight. And that bishop's hard to deal with. So he goes rook B8, looking at maybe rook B1. I was wondering if we might see knight B5 there, but instead we're seeing knight A4. So he's allowing rook to B1, and perhaps planning to just tuck his king on H2 and say it doesn't really matter.
King H2, yeah.
The black minor pieces are basically both trapped and both useless.
And White has 2 connected pass pawns. Yeah.
On the other
Wow.
hand, the white king will be trapped. So how does white exactly win? I don't know.
It's 2 queens in the center.
Gets 2 queens in the center.
I mean, he could play H4, King H3. It's no big deal.
Okay, so there's no big deal. White can
Yeah.
just win pretty easily, you think?
Yeah, this doesn't seem like Seattle's probably not used to, having Hikaru or Sargsyan lose to board 4.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he played knight B3.
Knight B3. He got the
Yeah,
knight
that
out.
bishop on A8 is not good.
No, he's
He played knife F5,
He's thinking
attacking
it
the
up.
H1 and D6 check and D7.
Mm-hmm.
And the knight on B3 is almost still trapped. It has like I guess I could go D2.
right. He
If-
took away D4, so knight D2 is going to be the big move for black
Yeah.
at some point. And actually, that might be what he's contemplating right now, because it also strengthens rook B1 check and other things.
Right, I think he would play bishop D3, stopping rook B1.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can defend his bishop with knight C5 if it gets attacked.
Someone's offered a draw. It was Anthony He after trading the last pawns on the queen side. So he's got 3-on-3 to defend now.
Why would you offer a draw to a high-rated player who has a 0% chance of accepting it?
Just to let him know that you're scared of him and how
I
he's
guess.
better than you.
Right.
Because maybe he doesn't know that you're scared of him, and so you just want to make sure that
You
he's
gotta
got
make
that
sure that he knows,
confidence
like,
and that killer instinct.
Yeah, you're 300 points lower rated, and you have a 2-minute time disadvantage in a drawn position.
Yeah,
And it's a board 4 against a board 1, so he's never going to take it.
never.
This is why I advise my students to never offer a take a draw. That way, you're not thinking about it.
Offering a draw is basically just holding up a sign saying, "I am weak.
Yeah.
Will you kill me, or will you let me, or will you spare me?"
Mm-hmm. Having said that, I think he'll draw.
Not so sure.
Yeah,
Not
I have
so
faith
sure
in
about that.
Go Anthony, or something like that.
I can definitely already see things going wrong here.
Man, the truth hurts.
I already see like possible lines where he could lose, and he did offer a draw, which suggests that he'll try to find the ways to lose.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it back to Margvelashvili and Vazquez. Vazquez did not choose to take the pawn back on e4, so chose to just emphasize his pressure on the c file, I guess, over that pawn.
It's funny. Black seems like he's Nakamura the way he's playing, but when I look at the clock, I realize it's not Nakamura. Yeah, it's like some King's Indian, and nothing much is happening, and Black will eventually outplay White and trick him.
Yep.
But that's because Hikaru has 11 minutes, his opponent has 2.
Yep.
And then the guy has no chance. But here, Margvelashvili, who's well known for playing very slowly, in 15 minutes isn't a great idea.
So h3 is played. That was basically forced to stop bishop g4, because if
that
White
move.
let Black play bishop g4, then you can stop pretending that you're in the game.
Right.
Even if you moved your rook and queen to some horrible squares and let Black play bishop g4, then bishop f3, and then you're down a pawn and you're getting eaten on the king side.
Yeah, I like White's position, but I think Black's okay, but I can't believe the time situation. So I've been watching all this chess on Twitch and chess.com lately, and it seems like there's always increment, except when there was an increment when Magnus lost on time.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting confused. So there's no increment or delay, right?
That was pretty oopsie. There is increment. There is still increment in the Pro Chess League. 2-second increment.
2 seconds, okay.
Let's see.
That was very strange that in the Carlsen Naka match, there was increment and there wasn't increment, depending on the time control.
Yeah.
That was strange. Okay, so what else is going on in this match?
So I'm just having a look around town, seeing some of the other games that are going. I found that Julio Sidora and Conrad Holt have started playing for the Dallas Destiny.
Yep.
They're going with a 3 GM lineup today. If I show everybody the nope, not that, but that. If I show everybody these pairings here, you can see Dallas going with a 3 GM lineup today and a lower rated 2200 board 4. And they're up against the Kangaroos, who are currently in the playoff hunt with a 3-2 record, and they've got Serrana and Smirnov playing, so this is kind of their bread and butter lineup as well here. And coming up, the matchup that we're really going to be excited about today, or most excited about,
I'll be excited,
is the Pandas versus the Hackers, where we're going to see Mamedyarov, Naroditsky, Azoria, plus this new guy Ravuri. And I think Ravuri did really well for them on Super Saturday, so this is sort of like the big deal if this guy can play.
That I missed. Yeah.
And the Chengdu Pandas also throwing out 3 GMs: Wang Yue, Zhu Wenjun, Xu Xiangyu, and a new board 4, Xiao Junyuan.
I was going to ask you about that. I thought that was a new person.
We got yet another one. Let's go.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. That's a really stacked matchup. Let me just see. I'm going to see if I can follow a Zeri chess yet. You always got to remember the 4th S when you want to watch Shock play.
But they haven't started
But
yet,
I'm not seeing it yet, yeah. So it's still upcoming.
I don't have them starting yet. Which
still upcoming.
Right.
I've got Conrad Holt on the board playing.
I think they start in a minute. Yeah.
Playing a kind of delayed French somehow.
Oh, e4, e6, queen e2.
Yeah. So he he waited till move 8 to complete this plan of d5. e6, as many of you know, telegraphing this plan of d5. James Morris of the Kangaroos saying no d5. So Conrad has to work around it for a while, even playing d6. And so James builds up the big center. And he's like, everything's going well. And then Conrad gets back into what he likes, which is the French pawn structure. And I would think that this opening is very satisfactory for Conrad.
Yeah, this looks like he's equalized, and it's his kind of position. I don't know much about James Morris, I must admit.
No, me neither.
Usually when your opponent's name is James Morris, you're not worried. It's only worrisome when I can't pronounce the name. Then you have to watch it.
Yeah. That's definitely the world you grew up in. I think the world is changing a little bit at this point, and there can be good players from all over the place now. But
all right, let's go to Anthony's game. Anthony,
what happened?
The truth hurts. That's what happened.
I told you something bad was going to happen.
These upsets never happen.
So let's see.
They're getting outplayed in the end game.
Oh my goodness! This H pawn comes in contact with G3 before he goes for knight G4. That was very clever of Alexander.
Yeah, and Anthony has less than a minute on his clock.
Oh, and then how does this F pawn become so much stronger? No, that's not how to let it happen. Oh. All right, so is this a lost endgame? Is this...
Yeah.
Even if you switch the players?
Well, now you're going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking because of the time situation, although rook A8 was not a good move. That's a very strange square for your rook in this endgame.
Oh, yeah? Where should he go?
I mean, I would never even consider rook A8. If I was going to like move my rook because I was scared, which I'm not saying I would do, I would play rook A6.
You'd go here instead.
I mean, for example, if it's white's move here, if he plays H6, rook A6 wins the pawn. So, I mean...
So you have limited fear of this H pawn. You would be considering F5?
If I was in fear of the H pawn, I would play rook A6.
Right. But since you're completely not, you would have just played F5.
Maybe, yeah, but rook A8, that's... Yeah, now white's rook is better than black's rook. So the H pawn, I mean, he has to take that pawn. And he probably thought that was winning the pawn. But I'm not so sure. See, if his rook was on A6 and he played F5 now, that would be fine. Now
There'd
if he
be
plays
no
F5,
H6, H7.
I play H6, H7, yeah. So now he's changed his mind.
Uh-oh.
So he wants after King G3 to play F5, F4 check with tempo. So Anthony F1.
But that was very hesitant for, you know, a Ukrainian grandmaster to...
It's tough for Anthony because if his king's on G1, he stops rook H2. If his king's on F1, he stops the E pawn from queening. So it's a tough decision.
Right.
Yeah. Now if H6, I have rook H2.
Indeed.
So he played King F1, then King G1.
Oh.
That can't be right.
They can't decide anything. They keep going back and forth, both of them.
But Bortnick must have heard me because he played rook A6. He's like, that's where my rook should have gone. What an idiot.
And then he didn't play rook E6, which would have been pretty conclusive right there. But okay, King F4 doesn't spoil anything.
I like King F4.
You like King F4 better? All right.
I like King F4, yeah.
King coming in.
This is just over.
King coming in. That's it.
This is over. Yeah.
The E pawn has been escorted. The white king can never come back to stop things because of mate. So the E pawn just runs.
Yeah, endgames are tough against much higher rated players when you have no time on your clock.
Hey, Mikuleski won this endgame with his trapped pieces.
No lying. Wow.
No lying. I'm not lying. It's just the result.
F3, no wonder.
And
where'd White's pieces go?
And Shock's in the building. So this one's over. Rook E6 to H6 again. He's heard Ben.
Wow.
So that'll be 1.5. And Mark Vilashvili's got 8 seconds. Let's check this out.
Bortnick just won. Wow.
So Vazquez, Mark Vilashvili.
Wow,
bang,
they both
bang,
have no
blitz,
time.
blitz, blang. I think he's made it in 1.
Yep. So there was an upset, but not in the game I was considering.
Boom. But there was a good upset. This game, you did always say that Black's position looked like something that only Hikaru would ever turn around, and normal people would just lose this thing. I mean, I guess Black was also down a knight in this whole position where he was getting mated, so that was not too close. All right, I got to turn our attention to the pandas.
Okay,
At this point, that's what I'm feeling. So, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov looks like he's playing a hedgehog or an opening whose name I'm not sure of. If it's not the hedgehog, I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's a hippopotamus. If
A
the knight's
hippo.
on E7, if the knight's on
hippo.
E7, it's a hippo. If
Okay.
the knight on F6, yeah,
With some kind of non-opening, right? I mean,
right.
no
Yeah.
no GM has ever played this position.
His opponent's 2,000,
Okay.
and it's a Chinese 2,000, so that means they're only slightly better than Shaq.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's getting the opponent out of fury immediately and trying to use his 700 extra FIDE points to beat him.
I would be surprised if there was someone rated 2,000 who knows more opening theory than Mamedyarov, but okay.
Wow, but Mamedyarov, I mean, 700 FIDE points is a lot.
It is a lot of points, yeah.
I mean, you put your opponent on their own, like I move 1, 2, 3, then that's a lot of moves they have to make. So I like that idea.
Okay.
Wow, Azoria Junwen. Wow, there's some tough matchups this match.
Mamedyarov's board 2 here, Daniel Naroditsky in action with black.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to have sacked a pawn straight out of the opening here against Xu Xiangyu. Xu Xiangyu, by the way, one of the reasons for the Panda's success. I was looking some things up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he's performed over 100 points above his rating. So he's been playing a lot of matches for them on board 3. Lots of work from this guy. What does Naroditsky have in mind for this pawn? Does he think he can win the pawn on c4 outright?
Well, if he's threatening knight c3, which attacks a2 and threatens the bishop, which wins the c pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And knight b2 is possible, but the white knight can go to d2 or e5.
So like a simple castle's knight c3, just to show Ben's point, would just be a blunder that would lose something. I mean, you'd have to give it up, yeah. Okay, so there's a threat there. The king could come to d2 instead to try and let the rook out and keep fighting.
That seems very reasonable to me.
Yeah. As long as the d4 square is really secure for white, there's not so many bad things that can happen to the king.
Yeah, white plays rook c1 next, and white's up a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to convert. There's isolated pawns and the extra pawns at the king's side, which doesn't matter now. So it would take a while, but I'd rather have white, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see all the compensation. There's some compensation, but I don't think there's enough. He played king d2.
All right.
David.
Naroditsky was ready for it. Quick rook c5. Looking at maybe rook c8, but maybe also looking at rook a5.
Right, with the idea of knight c5.
Depending on which way things go. Maybe the a pawn is, in the words of little Josh, only the king can defend him. The isolated pawn is the weakest pawn.
Nice. I mean, one way to defend it later is bishop d1 to b3, but that's a pretty sad bishop.
Yeah.
So I don't think he wants to do that. Maybe after rook a5, he wants to play rook b5.
Yeah. Logical.
Okay, so I mean, black has some compensation for a pawn, but I think
not really great, huh?
Yeah,
Other game in this match is Zoria versus Zhu Wenjun. Zoria had a really nice Catalan game recently that we got to enjoy. So last time we saw him, he was doing good. Let's see how he's doing now. Zhu Wenjun also had a pretty successful match last week. Knight, bishop, bishop, knight, bishop, bishop. I'm just letting everyone into, the thought processes of masters.
Yeah, exactly.
Pawn, 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 pawn.
So I want to play d4. Can
Looks
white
about
play
equal.
E3? Yeah, can white play bishop e3 to d4?
Yeah, why not?
Perhaps. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wanting your bishop on the best square.
Yeah. Then put the knight back on c3.
And now that I'm done counting the pawns, I'm going to say white's a bit better here. Even though initially I said it was equal.
Mm-hmm. Knight e4 is a good move.
Wow, Zoria 2,600 FIDE on board 3. That's
tough board 3.
It's a powerful lineup. So he's actually higher rated than China's board 2 this week.
Mm-hmm.
So what China needs...
I think Zero Book was board 3 for St. Louis.
What China needs is for Wang Yue to defeat National Master Vinesh Ravuri, skating by on a 1900 FIDE rating, but obviously way, way underrated. Soggy Cheese.
Now, when you say way, you mean like Wei Yi or not that kind of way?
No, I mean like even more way. This guy, National Master Soggy Cheese, he has been playing a lot of Blitz games this week. A lot of Blitz games.
Yeah, but Wang Yue is Wang Yue. Although I don't think the Benoni's in his repertoire, but I guess when you're paired down, you have to win. Yeah, some people are giving Anand a lot of flack for his first match last week because he was drawing low-rated players playing his usual solid style. But these people who play low-rated players all the time, they know how to mix it up. And I think Anand isn't used to playing players under 2,500, so he's not necessarily trying to win with black out of the opening, which I think a lot of, like Mamedyarov is playing crazy because his opponent's much lower rated. And Wang Yue playing the Benoni, that's not what I think when I think of Wang Yue. But that's the style they're playing.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen Wang Yue play one or two Benonis before. I feel like it's not like completely outside of his normal approach. He's got a nice time advantage. You always approve of that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we'll sort of bounce around this whole match, see how they're all doing. We got Mamedyarov here. Has finally come off of come past the third row or the sixth row, depending on which side of the board you watch it from.
A nice time advantage, as those guys always do. But White's still okay here. Nothing wrong with White's position.
Yeah. Nothing wrong.
Yeah, White's just playing very solid, and he has to just hope he doesn't get in a bad time trouble situation. Right. As everybody knows, I beat Shock you were doing the commentary with Yermo, and the only thing that I thought was important, since I thought I had no chance, was to not have a situation where I had like 2 minutes and he had 10.
Yeah.
So I just played it really fast, and I was like, well, I'm going to lose anyway, so I might as well not lose on time. And we both had tons of time. We both had like 7 minutes. It was like move 35, because if you get in the situation like we saw Anthony Hug get in, then you have no time on your clock. It's hard to play the end game.
Right. So, Xiao Junyuan.
That's easy for you to say.
I was expecting Rook D1, but I was strongly considering Queen to B3 as being an interesting move at some point. And it looks like Mamedyarov has been offering this pawn on B5, so he doesn't really care about that thing too much.
Yeah, I think if you take the pawn on B5, the E4 pawn is not defended as well.
You'll get some version of CB5, C4, and then if you retreat your bishop, knight takes E4.
Black could simply take back on B5 also, and E4 still under attack a lot. Wow, Mamedyarov attacked E4 even more. Queen E8.
Yeah. Quite the siege. Quite the siege scenario.
Looking for any questions for us in the chat. Let's see.
I mean, he's really threatening nothing as far as I can see. With his D6 pawn hanging and his B5 pawn hanging, he's just giving Xiao something to worry about.
If I had 700 more points, I'd be a GM. Good chat. Good chat. Yeah. I wish I had 700 more points. Then I could play in the chess league again.
We have a question about why it shows Soggy Cheese or having, a 1900 rating when his blitz rating on chess.com is 2400. The ratings that you're seeing in parentheses during the official broadcast here have been changed to show the players' FIDE ratings.
Right.
Okay, so that we know like who these players are. And also instead of it saying, like if I go to his game for a second just to show you guys my point, instead of it saying National Master Soggy Cheese here, it says National Master Vinesh Ravuri. But if you click on his name and then open up the tab, you see, Soggy Cheese and his 2400 speed rating. But the ratings here are like official FIDE ratings. So obviously he's way underrated, as we said, like this guy's like hundreds and hundreds of points higher rated in speed chess than he is currently rated FIDE.
On the other hand, I'm looking at his game now, and he better play some speed chess. He's down 8 minutes on the clock.
You're right.
So he better play some speed chess.
Yeah.
That's not
well, when
good.
you're white against the Benoni, it's very important at the beginning of the game to pay careful attention and keep black bottled up. Because if you let them, get 1 or 2 pieces out, trade 1 or 2 pieces, things can go really wrong. Like white has already allowed a knight trade. That's no bueno.
Can we go to Stopa versus Dreyev very quickly?
We could.
Versus Rock?
We could. I have it open. Here it is.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh,
Bishop
G7. Good timing.
Ben, as always.
The truth hurts.
Did you know he was about to blunder something?
No, I didn't. I just thought the game was going to end soon. I just was going to end like
thought it was going to end something.
Dreyev's like, this GM's a tough board 4, but then the guy walked into a skewer.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've got kind of a magic sense for that.
Yeah. Probably he was losing, so it's not the worst thing that's ever happened, but I'm sure he feels bad about it. Yeah.
Ooh, Mamedyarov finds a couple more nice improvements of his position with knight b6 and bishop c6. He's got the key points covered even more than before. Some pressure on c4, b5 defended for once, like actually defended.
Defended.
Yeah. I think the white knight on f3 should change occupations. It should find somewhere to attack or defend or something. But
right, yeah. No, but still, white is okay. He hasn't done anything wrong yet. And if he did one thing wrong, which is hard not to do, is his opponent has twice as much time. So that's not a good recipe in game 15. It's hard to play Mamedyarov though, so I don't really blame him.
Yeah,
tough opponent.
Maybe you should just plop a knight on d5.
You would do that.
I would. I mean, while the rook's defended on e1, you got to be careful when you do it. If I play knight d2,
f3 is doing something.
Then don't also play knight d5. But I'm not sure I understand like rook to b1 versus just knight d5.
Yeah, rook b1's an odd move. I agree. I guess he was worried if his knight wasn't on c3 that maybe black could go bc, bishop a4, but maybe that is something to worry about. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if his knight weren't on c3, black would just play knight takes e4. So I think he's got bigger worries than that.
No, I mean after knight d5. Yeah.
Oh, if he goes knight d5.
Right. Maybe he was worried about bc, bishop a4. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, knight d5 threatens like knight b6 and things. So I don't know if black would have time to do very much with that. But yeah, I can see. I'm just going to show everybody the diagonal you're talking about. Depending on how this works out tactically, that could have been a factor. So rook b1, g5. Well, Mamedyarov seems kind of provoked today. He seems a little bit angry.
Yeah. But white's not backing down. White's playing well so far. Which isn't really surprising me. It seems like the Chinese board 4s sometimes do well.
Yeah.
So let's go, if you have a time, to an all grandmaster matchup in round 1.
Yep.
Ángel Arribas Lopez versus Anton Smirnov. And the reason I'm asking you is because Ángel has 18 seconds left to 3.5 minutes. So that's not good.
No, that part's not good.
Yeah. And black obviously has the advantage with his nice center and rook on the 7th.
Yeah. So long as he doesn't blunder the rook on the 7th.
These things happen to the
concern.
best. Well, he has so much more time. He's probably not.
He's not going to blunder anything.
Blunder mode.
Rook c2 was just played, and this bishop was hanging here. So bishop e2, and now he's wondering if he can get away with rook b3. Now, time to get that rook out of there.
He must have heard you. He played rook c7.
Yeah. It's like David does not approve of that rook situation. Bishop c5. That's good.
That looks like a good.
So now you kind of have to play bishop e3. Then black can probably play d4. And then bishop takes b3.
I say this every broadcast. You can't do this. You have seconds against minutes. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You're just going to blunder.
Yep.
I mean, it's inevitable you're going to blunder. You can't leave yourself with this kind of time. And this isn't something I see from GMs a lot. When I see like the 2200s playing the 2500s, Sometimes the 2200 has seconds against minutes, and then the position's okay. But yeah, now what's happening? It's very tactical.
Yeah, it is tactical.
I think Black played bishop takes b3 a little too quickly before thinking about it.
You would have used a little bit of that extra 3 minutes.
Yeah. Now he's thinking. Wow, 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black's just playing instantly, which is weird because he has such a huge time advantage. And he's trying to like press his opponent to lose on time, but that's an unusual method for a GM.
Right.
That's not the standard recipe. You should make the guy sit there and think about it while you find the right moves. Black playing good moves is important, not playing instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys basically have the same rating. This is the board 3 versus the board 2.
Yep. All right, Smirnov's decided that it's time to actually come up with a good move.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The game's not going to flag itself for him. He's going to have to put on some pressure.
So you remember that soggy cheese we were talking about, Vinesh Ravuri?
I do. I remember him.
What is he playing, Hikaru? 23 seconds to 10.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. So that game's probably not going to go much longer because White has no time on his clock.
Yeah.
Wow. The position's about equal. Black's better, but Black has that knight on e5. But that's amazing what happens when you play somebody 2,700 FIDE and you're used to playing like your friends who are your rating. It's easy to slow down because you get really worried. You're like, wait a minute, this guy's threatening everything and stops all my threats. And you don't have time to do that in a 15-minute game. But I'm trash talking like, oh, why is the guy playing so slow? But when you're playing Nakamura and Wang Yui and Mamedyarov, it's hard to move because any move just loses. If you get a losing position, you're not going to get your way out of it. So you got to be really careful. You don't have time to be careful. So it's a tough situation to be in.
It is.
Well, he's moving really fast.
Yeah, now he's doing what he's got to do.
But the pressure's coming. Here comes the pressure.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now he's got to find his way through all this. I mean, there's B2 hanging and.
So Wang Yui has to figure out whether he can take on B2 or not, because 97 is a threat.
Yep. It's 97. If he takes a second time on C6, then he's opening up E5 for White. So he had to think about that carefully as well. Decided to allow it.
Yeah, because after DE5, bishop takes rook, queen takes his check.
Yep.
Wow, Wang Yui's playing really fast considering he has tons of time.
Yep. You said it wasn't the standard recipe, but maybe today it is.
I like his position, though. I really like his position.
You're like, your position's good enough. You get to play fast if you want to.
Wow.
But once you blow it, A7's hanging here, so he'll want to do something significant.
Yeah, so Arribas Lopez is losing, and he has 3 seconds.
Yep.
Smirnov's going to win that game. That game's going to end any second if you want to go to it.
I see. I see these pawns incoming.
Any move it's going to end. Yeah. This is a good time to end.
This is a good time to end. This is where you count how many pieces are defending E1. You're like, I thought I had E1 covered. What?
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right.
I mean, he was probably doing okay, but then with the time situation, it's a hopeless task.
Yeah. Okay. So back to soggy cheese, I guess. So queen takes on B3, getting a passed B pawn. Vinesh grabs on D6, and now he's got material equality. He's got his bishops coming back out. And
if you have a chance, quick.
Yeah.
Kubakarov versus Sidora.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get there fast enough.
Sidora's black, Sidoreski. They both have no time, and they're both perpetual checking and mating each other.
Whoa. Whoa.
I don't know who's better. I'm confused.
Well, White's got an extra bishop, so they're not worse.
Yeah, but if he gets mated, he'll be worse.
No.
No, even if he gets mated? Wow.
He'll still have an extra knight.
That's true. This looks like a perpetual.
Kind of a moral victory.
Isn't Sidora board 1?
He is board 1.
This guy's board 4?
This guy's not a normal board 4, obviously.
Yep. Well, that's a good board 4.
It's like rating is like the same as the average rating that you're allowed to have.
They both have no time, but I think Sidora's like, I'm down a piece. So
yeah, I'm down a piece. I think I'm going to do this.
They both have no time on their clock.
Do this repetition.
They both want to win. Okay, White's playing for the win.
Well,
you play King G1 and repeat.
Yeah, but I think queen g3, king e2, queen e3 keeps the draw.
Uh-huh.
I think that maintains
3 seconds. Wow, he's looking for the win. 1 second. Wow.
Whoa. Now he's offered a draw.
Okay.
And repeated it all by repetition.
Wow. Wow, that's a high-rated board 4. I can't even pronounce his name, so I know he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty darn good.
Conrad Holt won his game against James Morris.
He did. So the first round is 2-1 for Dallas right now.
Man, Mamedyarev's position is no good. Mamedyarev's getting crushed. He just blundered, I think. He didn't see bishop takes d6.
Let's see bishop takes d6 for ourselves.
He's getting crushed.
So apparently there was some weird thing going on in the b file, because no sooner did Xiao Junyuan leave the b file, Mamedyarov comes back to it, opens it up, starts developing his counterplay. And what is this move? Where did this move come from?
Wow.
All right. Well, the idea is rook takes d6, knight e7.
That's the idea. Good
followed
idea.
by queen takes d6, and everything.
And if it's white's to move knight e7, check wins. White's up a pawn. White could play e5, queen h7, mate. Roar.
Oh, e5, queen h7 would be nice.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. So what's he going to do? Take on d5 here?
Black's lost.
Well, what if he takes on d5 before you declare him dead? What happens next?
Roar.
Bishop takes d5.
Well, how could you?
Well, I'm just looking at captures. It's like the 1200 rated brain going here. Just look at some captures. My point is
I take with the e pawn.
You take with the e pawn, okay?
Yeah, because I want to play queen h7 check, and if you take my bishop, I play rook e8 check and queen h7
right.
mate.
So I have to take the bishop or I'm down, and then you go rook to e8
and queen h7
trapping
mate.
my king in. Knight f8. When there's a knight on f8, you can't get mated. Remember?
Except you get mated right away. That's yeah. Man, Mamedyarev's not moving because he knows what's up.
Ooh, man.
Wow, he didn't see bishop takes d6.
Yeah, or maybe he didn't realize that bishop takes d5 was losing.
Right, he might have thought that he could do that.
Because, on queen d5, there's rook takes c2. And
so I'm wondering if he can somehow... Oh, I don't think he has the time. Can he take the bishop on c2 and then do that and not get mated? Okay, he played knight f4.
There's a move that says I'm in trouble. That move reads...
I have a question.
Mayday,
if I play knight takes f4, g takes f4, e5, what do you do?
Probably resign, but maybe knight f8, and then you can't mate me?
I guess rook takes c2.
Rook takes c2, queen takes c2.
Now you're just dead.
Bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3.
Wait, bishop takes f3?
Yeah.
Did you jump over the knight?
No.
What? e5?
Yeah.
There's a knight on d5.
Oh, I thought you were taking on f4 with your knight, Ben.
No. I'm just playing e5, threatening queen h7.
Oh, without any trading or anything.
Yeah, just playing e5. I want to play queen h7. Although I guess queen h7 is not a big
knight takes d3 is threatened here.
It takes d3. Oh, wait.
Knight takes d3.
Are you a move ahead of me? Let's see.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Knight takes f4. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm crazier than you, which is not even possible, but it's likely.
All right, so he did take the knight on f4 with his bishop because, you know,
with the bishop.
The queen, it was kind of obligatory to do something.
Yeah, that's what I meant with the bishop. That's why we're looking at different positions.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you take with a knight, then e5 threatens mate, but then you can stack the piece. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I was already looking at the live position, so I was confused.
Okay, e5, and he went for knight f8.
Right.
So now...
White's a pawn up and winning.
Now knight takes f4 is pretty solid looking move.
Everything's winning. This is just crush.
Everything's winning.
This is crush town.
So the key to this whole game was just to plop a knight on d5. I don't know why White waited so long to do it, but clearly we could have beaten Mamedyarov 2 today.
Man, knight takes f4 looks pretty good.
Yeah. Wow. Don't it? Don't it just?
Mamedyarov has one chance. His opponent has 1 minute left.
That move's not terrible looking either.
Queen f5 is great.
Queen in here, yeah.
Wow. Just getting crushed.
Somebody's saying that Isoria hung a bishop, And Zhu Wenjun won by resignation. Let's see how he did it.
Yep, I agree.
His bishop was here on d5. I can't believe you didn't tell me to look at the board right here, Ben.
I apologize.
And then he played bishop f3.
Bishop f3?
Rook takes f3.
Is that a mouse slip? He meant to go to g2 and let go? Possible.
I don't know. Maybe he thought always play bishop f3.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was a mouse slip. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. All
right. Anyway, that sort of equal game comes to an abrupt end that way. 2 points for the Pandas already, as Wang Yue did convert against.
Quick, go to Naroditsky's game.
Bishop.
Fast, fast as you can.
I did it. We got queening coming on.
And perfect timing. Perfect.
Bing.
They made like 5 really quick moves, and then he resigned. He did great. Yeah.
You want to play at least e2 check first here, and if they go king e1, you know, at least a mouse slip or something for your team.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I agree.
King e3.
You know the right strategy.
Well, I feel like it's one too soon, you know. And some people were telling me, like, say why people, like, resign or why games end when they end, right? So let's just go through this one. If white plays king e1 to block this e-pawn, that's actually not the way to block it. The black king comes to e3, you queen, and black checkmates you on the back rank with these pawns. This is a really good pawn in game to know. So on e2 check, the key is you play king f2. And then you're keeping the black king at bay while covering e1 queen. And then black has nothing they can do before white queens the pawn.
Man, Mamedyarov going down.
Let's see if that's still true. Mamedyarov going down. Queen f5 was played.
He's going down.
Last we saw. And bishop d7.
Man, Chinese board 4s are tough.
But there was no really good discovery for the rook. Queen takes f4. That's not that impressive, is it? Queen f4?
I'm pretty impressed.
Okay. Well, from where I'm sitting, the game is still going. I think knight f6 check is playable.
Oh, yeah.
He could leave the rook hanging.
I mean, black's pieces are like trapped on the queen side.
Oh, I feel like rook c1 was a lot worse than knight f6, probably. You don't care about anything, Ben.
Winning is winning.
Okay.
Black can't move anything.
Well, knight f6 lets me play rook d8. It mates much faster than putting the rook on c1.
No, I agree. Knight f6 was probably better, but
okay.
Now Mamedyarov has less time. Wow.
Oh, he's been down on time ever since bishop takes d6. That one really.
I mean, he can't find a move.
Sent him in the tank.
Yep.
You approve? I don't approve. What is white doing?
I approve. Wow, this is great.
Knight h4 maybe, then g5, knight g6.
Queen g4 I like that a lot.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
What was the defense to knight h4 though?
Well, you have a defense here? Wow.
I don't know. The other was mate in 1. Now you're only threatening queen takes rook. I'm like, whatever.
Well, queen takes g6 is reasonable.
Okay. Queen takes g6.
Wow. Queen g4 is tough to meet. He won't even move.
Yeah.
No, he's just going to lose.
He says
to lose on time.
What's he going to do? Rook takes f6.
Wow.
Double back with that one. Sure.
Queen g6. Rawr.
Queen g6. Yeah.
Rawr.
I kind of see the end here.
Your knight h4 is still good, but queen g6.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Knight h4 was better last turn. Now queen g6 would be appropriate. What?
Yeah, he played knight h4. That's funny.
Okay. We have a fundamental disagreement.
Wow, everything wins. Knight g6 is good.
Knight g6 is good.
It's got 10 seconds.
Good catch.
Still,
yeah.
Everything's good now.
Ooh, ooh, the brutality. The brutality.
Yeah, this is brutal. I agree. Yep. Wow, they both have 10 seconds. Mamedyarov losing in round 1. I can't believe it.
Mamedyarov has an outside passed a pawn. If you were rated 2077, would you have ice in your veins here, or would you be freaking out?
If I was a Chinese, isn't?
Oh, that one clarifies things. That one
was
clarifies
it knight h5, queen g7 mate?
It may have been, but look at this. Okay. This was.
Yeah, he won. Wow. This was mate in 3.
This allows him to play rook e7 and queen g7 mate with the rook hanging. So it's like even more like I nailed you, man.
Wow, what a crush. That was like Mamedyarov was white. Maybe we had the colors wrong.
Maybe we had the colors wrong the whole time. Let's see what color Wang Yue had. Wang Yue had black, so Mamedyarov had black. No, I was right the whole time.
Wow.
What?
Which game are you saying what to?
Just the whole experience of Mamedyarov getting getting brutalized like that.
Need a tougher board 1. Yeah. No, I think since I beat Mamedyarov, nobody was afraid of him anymore. So I think that's what happened.
This Jun Yuan could be an upgrade. Could be a major panda upgrade.
Wow. They don't really need an upgrade on board 4. That's incredible.
Ow. That's 3-4-0 for the Pandas round 1. 4-0. Ben,
Yeah.
you're messing with the hackers again. They
That's
can't do it
crazy.
with you here.
By the way, Michael Brown beat Stopa like immediately. In like 20 moves, he won a piece. Wow.
I'm sad not to see it, but
Wow, he
I
just
don't
blundered
see
a
it.
piece horrible at Stopa. Wow. He just hung a piece to like some ridiculous thing.
So, is that the end of the whole round, or is there still one game going somewhere here?
Everybody seems to have a lot of time, so that's the end of that round.
Okay, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but I'm seeing a score between the Kangaroos and the Destiny of 2-1 in favor of the Destiny, which is like a weird score at the end of a round.
Right, let me see. But nobody has any time.
Okay.
I mean, everybody has a ton of time.
Right,
Wait a
they're
minute.
like move 5 in the opening. So,
No, that's not the right thing.
all right. Maybe just one game that hasn't been updated in the
Yeah, maybe they didn't
standings.
update it yet. Yeah, because that game is over.
That's fine. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got let's see.
Let's look at Bortnik versus Orlov.
How did Orlov do in the first round?
I mean, we thought he was winning, but I don't know how he did.
winning.
We thought he was winning.
We have a quick way to check that actually.
Yeah.
Look at this. I got a new scene for us, everybody. Boom.
All right.
Board by board results, we can see how everybody started off. So on the Ospreys, they started out with wins for boards 1, 2, and 3. That's how they got their 3-1 lead here against the Sluggers in the first round. On the other hand, the Sluggers, Orlov, he was a win for the Sluggers.
So Orlov won the first round?
So Orlov was the one who won the first round? Unless he just already beat Ruiz really fast. In the first round, Orlov should have been paired with Bellis.
Right.
And
But I
Bellis
thought
has a
Orlov was
point.
winning. We were looking at it.
But here he's playing again, so
Well, he's playing Bortnik.
yeah. So actually, I'm not sure what this tells me.
This game is very confusing to me because I don't know who's better.
I'm going to have to get better at reading those results.
Nice.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I apologize, everybody.
Let me see. Bellis won. And then Orlov has won. Yeah, I thought he was playing Bellis too.
Yeah.
Wait, if he's board 3 and he was playing a board 2.
He has to play board 2 in first round. Anyway,
Right.
let's at least figure out what he's doing in the game in front of us. He's got his king in the middle.
Because Bellis already won his second
Bishop,
game.
queen.
So then
Right.
Orlov did win his first game. Yeah, I'm going to say that's what happened.
You think that's what happened?
Yeah, because then
That
it
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah. We have to make it make sense somehow.
Yeah, I was trying to think of all the permutations of who was board 2 and 3 and who was the one game that was already done. All right, so king in the center. Pretty funky game. Materials actually completely equal.
But
If
the
the
knight on
knight-
E2's trapped.
if
If you
the
play
knight on-
knight G1,
If the knight on E2 moved, it would be even
always
worse.
play bishop F1, but now you might get mated.
Because white would play bishop D4.
Yeah, eventually. Right. So what happens on knight H2?
Knight H2 looks like a completely winning move.
Is
Just
the queen
from my
D7
first
check, or that
instinct.
doesn't matter.
Queen D7
I don't think that
check.
matters. Yeah. I
Then
play
king to E1, which, further wins those two pieces.
Now wait a minute. Is bishop B4 check a threat?
Bishop B4 check a threat.
Yeah, I think knight H2 is bad because of bishop B4 check.
Interesting. That move could be a thing.
Yeah, I think that's bad.
Wow. All right.
I'm very confused.
How about
There's too
king
many
to
discovered
E1 then?
checks.
How about king
this
to
position?
E1, Ben? Yeah.
Attacking the bishop on F1.
Yeah, just fight for yourself, king.
Okay, then bishop B4 check, and if queen H3 is not made because the knight's hanging. You just take all the
My
one by
plan
one.
is to just kill everybody with the king. Just,
Yeah.
it's like the final boss, who has been defended, but then it turns out when you beat all their defenders, they can fight themselves.
So he played bishop D3. Bishop B4 check.
Bishop D3. Okay, so he allows this check, walks off the other direction. Hopefully sets up his bishop to capture one of these guys and not get
Yeah,
captured.
but now
you
you're
never
allowing
know.
like bishop H6. That bishop on F8. Never move the bishop off of F8. Because
Well,
now-
he was facing some major problems. I mean, one of White's threats here is to play bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, and then bishop D4. And that was kind of like a game ender no matter where the dark squared bishop is for black. I mean, even if he's on F8, he can't stop that stuff. So
Yeah, this seems tough for Orlov now. Not good.
Yeah. Bortnyk. I'm rooting for him because his king's in the middle of the board, but he's threatening mate. That's something I appreciate in a chess player.
Okay, so that game's over. Let's see.
Which game are you saying is over?
There was some game that was over. I think it was Ruiz losing to Mark Valashvili. I was just looking around. Okay. Now, the game where they have no time, and I don't know who's better, is Michalevsky Vazquez.
Michalevsky.
It's exchange for a pawn, but black has a king and white doesn't. So white's trying to have a king. Good idea.
Right. Well, rook b2. That should get him his king. That should promote this thing on g1 to a king.
That's exciting.
Yeah. No matter what, this is a hard position to win. I mean, bishop and healthy pawn, that's always going to be some serious work. It's a good bishop. It's got plenty of support points. Pawns on both sides of the board. Yeah, there's always going to be some chances for black here. This kind of thing is like my nightmare to play with less than a minute on the clock. I hate things like this.
Yeah, usually I like to side with the better king. Like, I'm not even sure white's better.
No.
I just like to side with the good king. I like kings.
Yeah, so he defends his h-pawn in advance of rook h1 with this, but I don't see where white is, you know, advancing, attacking anything, displacing the bishop. I don't really see. But I guess that was his plan, to go after the a-pawn.
Taking the a-pawn would be good. That black rook is great. The white king isn't so good.
We might see bishop f3 here, rather than defending a6.
If I play bishop c4, you're going to play rook c6.
What's G5. This one?
So he wants to move his king up.
He wants to go king e4, king e3.
King e4, yeah.
He's all in on that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, rook h6, king e4, rook e6 check, take, king f3. Yeah, it's fair. With the better king, black's not going to lose that.
Probably a draw, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably what's going to happen.
You think that's going to happen?
Yeah,
There's no way for white to win this one.
Here that I would get in trouble. Yeah,
that's what all right. He goes for it. So I think this is headed drawish now.
Yeah.
And one player's up a pawn. That makes it hard for the other guy to win. But the other guy's got the more active pieces. That makes it hard for him to win.
To f3. I'm thinking rook e5, although I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing to think.
He played rook e5.
That's a good thing to think.
I think something. Sometimes it's wrong. Yeah, a draw is obviously the correct result, but anything can happen when both sides have no time on their clock. And Orlov did lose that position, as we suspected.
Oh, man, we already missed the checkmate. I wanted to see the checkmate.
Yeah, this position's looking really drawn.
Won by checkmate. I missed that checkmate. I was living for this checkmate. All right, let's see it again. Queen d7. Bishop takes e2.
We love checkmates.
Just like we said, bishop d4. Check here, check here. If he went to e6, then there's always just knight d4, right? So queen b8 and queen e5. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I'd already seen it in my head. I sort of planned on it, but all right, this game goes on. Somebody declined to draw. That was silly of them.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm going to say that nobody wants to see any more of their game. They should have agreed to a draw. We'll switch over here.
Don't they know we don't want to see their game anymore? Come on.
Yeah. Here we've got Mamedyarov against Xu Xiangyu. B4 just played. Aggressive. I wonder about pawn to e4. Pawn to e4. I suppose that white could still play d4, and then on bishop takes c4, bishop takes... No, queen. Yeah, so... e4, possible. Oops.
Yeah, he might play e4.
Something just happened to me, by me.
Something happened?
I just made one bad click. It was a mouse slip. If I were playing, my team would have just lost a point.
Did everybody resign? Because you made a mistake?
No.
Okay, good.
Nobody resigned, but, you know, I've got these extra buttons on my mouse on the side. little shortcuts that you can actually accidentally press and
Okay,
do
the
things.
Mikuleski game was drawn, as it should have been.
Yeah.
All right, let's see Kachian versus Keaton Kirwa, Melik versus Keaton.
Okay.
It looks like Melik has a very nice position and more time. Gotta like that.
All right. Keaton, the hero of the Sluggers' victory last week. They won 8.5, 7.5, thanks to
Now,
3.5 out of 4 from board 3.
You said the Sluggers?
Sorry, the
Surfers,
Surfers.
right?
The Surfers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I think the
ends in
Surfers, did they have a sponsor, the Surfers?
They do. The Surfers are sponsored by Herges.
Nice.
Capital
That's
Management.
that's why he did so well, because they have a sponsor.
Because they have a sponsor.
That doesn't
Yeah, so
hurt.
he was the big hero last week. Let's see how he's doing here against Kachian.
Yeah, he was 3-0, and he drew a better position. He agreed to a draw because that won the match.
In round 4, that's right.
Otherwise, you might have played on. Yeah, it's not going to be 4-0 this week.
Right. He started off
It
with
looks
the
like
draw.
he's losing and has less time. Yeah.
Yeah, this possibility of white taking on e6 really was important to the evaluation here.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt black's chances a lot. I guess black's just going to play king c5 anyway, maybe, or what? Would you go king e5? Then you have to worry about bishop g4, rook e6 mate. I think c5
like
might be
mate.
the square.
We like mate. It's hard to play safe with black because white has those going to have those connected pass pawns on the king side. So safe might not be the way to go. It looks really good for Melik.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at Andreev Ostrovsky because we got 2 rooks against a queen.
Yep, I had just clicked on that a
As
second
usual,
before when you told me to like go to the Melik game. So then
I knew what you were thinking. And
I
as
went the
usual,
other way.
the higher rated player has a huge time advantage, and I complain. Rawr, complaining.
Now normally we would think that the 2 rooks would be better,
White does have an extra pawn.
but white has an extra pawn,
Mm-hmm.
and knights do coordinate well with queens.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say this position's still a little bit unclear.
Yep.
I would rather be black. I would rather have 5 minutes. So what would I take overall?
I would always take the 5 minutes to
You
one.
take the 5 minutes, huh?
I take the 5 minutes, yeah. If I have 1 minute, I lose for sure. 5 minutes, I have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, what else interesting is happening? King c5 was played, as you said. Probably this is the most interesting.
Which one?
Looking at the Dreyev game.
What we're looking at? That's good.
Yeah, because it's 5 minutes to 1. It's 2 rooks against a queen. Yeah. Let's see. Dreyev's always very solid. Very good board 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a fantastic season last year. Big part of this I was going to say Sluggers again. Big part of the Surfers playoff run. Some fantastic
last
games.
year I played him twice. One game I drew pretty easily with black, and the other game he beat me in 100 moves. I suffered all 100 moves. I was
Ouch.
suffering. Yep.
Like already on move 1, you were suffering.
I was worse. Yeah, and I was a queen down at some point, and I actually had a drawn position down a queen, but we both had seconds on our clocks. It didn't matter. It was just it was craziness. And let's see. Nobody's in really bad time trouble except Ostrovsky.
And we've got our eyes on him. We've got our eyes firmly fixed on the Desert Rat. His team 2-4, slightly in the hole against the Surfers so far. The Surfers just repeating straight up the lineup that won them the match last week.
It's a good lineup. Wow.
All right, Dreyev goes for f4 after deep consideration, and Ostrovsky doesn't hesitate to go in with that knight, play it forward. The h-pawn looks to be struggling.
Yeah, this could go all three ways, and I mean, I think it's easier to play black, actually. I think black's king is just safer than white's.
Right.
I could see black's pieces getting your white's king, but black's king just seems fine. The white knight hasn't really found a good place to go yet.
That's really the issue. The white knight. I mean, maybe knight e4 to c5. Put some pressure on something.
And I'm very worried about that because I'm afraid black's rooks and knights can get infiltrate. So I'd be scared to do that.
Yeah, a little tactical detail. Rook d5 here. Queen takes d5. No knight e3 check.
Check. Yeah.
So don't get too fancy. Takes the h pawn. That's what I was expecting. Now I was thinking maybe knight to c5. And then rook h2 check, king f3, h5.
h5, yeah.
Right? Trying to
I'd be afraid for white there. Even
nets.
if white's okay, I'm afraid.
You're afraid for white. Okay.
The king can get in trouble there.
He hears you. He hears you.
Yeah.
But he's Dreyev. You just said that he was really solid and never messed up.
So. Yep, he doesn't want to get mated, that's for sure. He's going for it.
Going for it. We predicted every move. We just don't know what's going to come of it.
If he plays king g1, rook e8 threatens rook e1. So that's also dangerous.
Rook e8, yeah, typically a strong move.
So I don't know after rook h2 what he's going to do. Black hasn't played rook h2 yet.
No, he hasn't. He's got 20 seconds, so he could give it
another
1 second of thought. And there it is.
Plays king f3.
Got to go h5, right? That's got to be the move.
I assume.
If you go rook e8 too soon, maybe white plays... I don't know what. Okay.
He's got to move. He's got 10 seconds.
All right.
He defended his d-pawn.
Defended his d-pawn. That was a surprising move. Leaves some pressure on Andreyev to come up with something to do.
Yeah.
There's seconds left. He looks at b5. Rook to e8 played. He really wants to take the pawn on b5, but...
I think he'll take it.
Yeah.
That's why he played queen d3.
But he's got
not
some
to
time.
not take it.
He's at least preventing rook e2 because he can trade off his queen on e2. So he's not going to get mated by rook e2 and then rook
but if
f2.
black plays rook e1, I get scared. I'm not sure what I'm scared of. I'm just scared in general.
Your queen's covering f1. I don't think Dreyev will even be scared.
Also, there's like h5, knight g4, and I'm really scared.
Well, yeah, but then he should have played h5 with his knight on g4. I wouldn't worry about that. Take the pawn. Take the pawn.
All right.
Take the pawn. It's waiting for you.
Ah, that's my favorite song. How did you know? Okay, let's quickly go to Kacyan versus Kirwa before it ends.
All right, it's got to be quick. 2 seconds, 1 second. Resigned.
It ended.
Nice move here. Rook e5 check. That forces the king backwards. Right, and after the king comes back, even if it attacks the rook, pawn takes pawn, defends the rook. He's got his extra bishop. There's no real pressure against his king. And the black pawns are broken
did take the pawn on b5, and Ostrowski did play h5. Every move we want, they're playing. Perfect. Yeah. Queen c4 check. Potts or ch. I mean, Dreyev sees a check.
Yeah. Now his queen's headed to f7-ish.
Well,
he's got to worry about rook e2. Maybe not.
I'm super worried if I'm white.
Super.
I'm worried about everything.
You are so timid today.
I'm very worried because my king's on
I've never seen you so scared. f5. Yes, I was just about to call it. I was just getting there. This way on knight g4, he plays king f4 to g5, and you have to rearrange all your pieces for your attack. All right, now that he's done that, he's just going to go b5. He's just going to play b5, like whatever. Whatever.
Wow, knight e6. What?
Whoa.
What world am I in?
He's only got a couple seconds to choose how
left.
to react.
3 seconds. Wow.
Decides
mate
not to
and 4
take
for
it.
white. White has mate now.
Yep.
Queen c8 is mate. Yeah. Yep. And then knight f7, queen h8 mate. And black got mated.
That was
shows you what I know.
vicious.
Always repeat
man.
knight g5 and then mate him. Okay. Wow,
Apparently
that was
not always repeat. Sometimes you want to make sure you get to play your beautiful checkmate.
That was up and down at the end. I could have gone either way.
Dreyev. Man,
Super
the guy's got
solid.
some
Maybe
soul
he's
here
a
with
winner.
this move 96, huh? Boom! What do you want? You want to take that? You want to play
And
this
boom
position
goes
with
the dynamite.
2 pawns on the 6th rank? Do you see my threat? What are you going to do with 5 seconds? Man, that's exactly where I
96,
blundered too.
was-
5 seconds, somebody plays a move like this, you're like, he wants me to take it. I shouldn't take it. What do I do? What's the knight doing on e6? Okay, knight g4. That's exactly how it goes.
That's the way chess goes. That's what Janet Jackson told me.
All right. Let's see what Shaq is up to now. Let's see how he recovers from the spill. Let's see if the Hackers can score a single win against the Pandas today. What do you think, Ben?
The Pandas are up 4-0?
Yeah, they're up 4-0.
That's crazy.
I didn't ask if they're going to get a single draw yet. I said a single win. What do you think?
Okay.
Can they win a game?
16-0 I'm supposed to predict?
No. Can they get a win?
I think I have Wang Yui in my fantasy.
Okay. Well, that's working out for you so far.
Not on my fantasy team, just in my general fantasy.
Oh, just in your fantasies? Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
Wang Yui, yeah.
It's probably also working out for you.
Yeah, that's working out great.
This position looks very unimpressive for Mamedyarov so far. I honestly hate his position.
And you're easily impressed.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking, but I really don't like it.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah.
There's some problems. I think D4 might even be a strong move for black here instead of trading on B2.
Now, am I going out on a limb if I say I predict Mamedyarov gets 0 points this match? Probably.
Yes, that's going out on a limb.
I won't say that then.
It's early to say that, but
I'm strongly thinking it.
But if you say that when he's 0-3, you won't get much credit. If you say that when he's 0-1, you'll be the prognosticator.
Well, I'll just tell you that I wouldn't be surprised.
95. All right.
Because the thing is, we were talking about, well, we weren't. Robert Hess was talking about in the previous broadcast that Fedoseev is playing at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So his results maybe aren't as good as his rating.
Right.
But I'm wondering where Mamedyarov is. Is he in San Francisco or is he?
Oh no, he's not here. He's not here.
Is it 3 a.m. where he is?
Probably. It's probably some weird time. 5 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. But isn't it interesting that Shu didn't want to trade bishops despite, White having the bishop pair to break up? I think the reason is that had he traded bishops, but correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, if he trades bishop, he kind of cedes that long dark square diagonal to White's queen, which is not like the perfect result from that bishop trade. That's why I wanted to play d4, so that if everything trades, the black queen ends up on d4.
Right.
I thought that looked like a pretty dominating move, pawn d4, but maybe not. Anyway, so they're developing their forces.
I like black's position a lot.
You still like black, right?
Well, I tell my students don't make random pawn moves, and Mamedyarov moved all of his pawns.
Yeah. You're like, and he made all the random pawn moves. He played every single one of them.
Yeah, and black has half of his pawns didn't move yet. That's what I'm talking about.
If Mamedyarov wins this game, maybe your wise-ass students will bring you this position and be like, Ben, you told us not to make a random pawn move. This guy made 20 and he still won.
My students never even heard of grandmasters. It doesn't matter.
Oh, they're not likely to.
I'm not worried at all.
They're not likely to bring evidence to argue with you.
Exactly.
So the plan here is something like rook to e8, and then at some point move the knight and attack e3.
Quickly, let's go to Smirnov Safin. Or Sarin, whatever is that? Safin, I guess.
I feel a little bit of pressure when you tell me quickly. Like, I feel like I've got like 2 seconds to get there before somebody gets mated in one.
Well, it's okay. It's
E6.
The game's just gonna end soon.
E6, E7.
Yeah,
is this winning?
Yeah, black is king over, and then Fe6, E7. Yeah, you got there just in time, just when black is going to resign. He doesn't resign.
A7.
Man, A7's harsh. Yeah. Yep, it's resign time.
This is a good use of 2 extra passed pawns on the 7th rank. What you do is you move them forward till one of them queens.
That's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Recommended by everybody. Okay, anybody in horrible time trouble? Anybody completely winning? Yeah, Wang Yui's crushing Azoria, so maybe it will be 16-0.
Well, I wasn't yet saying 16-0. I was just saying, do you think that they're going to like win a game? They could get lots of half points from draws, but
yeah, they'll win a game.
Do you see them winning a game still?
But I mean, they might lose like 12-4 or something, which is crazy.
It is.
San Jose has that crazy good lineup.
Yeah. Xu Xiangyu's position looks just so healthy against Shaq. Oh man. Wang Yue, you said Wang Yue was crushing. Let's see, he just put his knight on e6.
I'm just wondering if it's going to be 4-0 again. They can't be.
That would be sort of surprising, but if Shaq loses, it's certainly possible. All right, so Azoria here. Knight e6 played.
terrible
If he
position.
doesn't take it, then he loses the bishop on g7. If he does take it, yeah, I think he'll take it.
No, this is awful.
He'll take it, right? Bishop takes
I
knight.
mean, you can't let that knight stay on e6.
Well, and the bishop on g7 is more important than the one on f5, right? So
Yeah, but this is,
you got a choice. You got to take it.
This is the worst. Everything's the worst.
Well, why is it so bad to take it twice? What's so bad here after bishop e6, pawn e6, queen e6?
Oh, it looks awful. I want to do stuff, mean stuff.
Okay.
I don't know what the mean stuff is, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
So what if I play bishop g4?
Sure. Hitting the queen and the knight, so queen e7 is my sort of
Can I play knight d5 then?
response. Then knight d5, sure. Maybe I should have gone to f7. Let's just go back and move, okay? Shall we?
Okay.
Now that I've learned where your knight can move.
Yeah.
I go queen
queen
f7.
f7.
Now you've got queen d6, right?
Now I got queen d6, yeah.
It's pretty clean. But what if I go crazy?
But I mean, he's thinking such a long time. I mean, I can't leave that knight on e6. I have to take it.
I think he's thinking ahead whether or not he's going to take it with his queen or like trade and then move his knight out somewhere. Kind of thinking it in advance.
Yeah, it just looks like white has everything here. Okay, but Zhu Wenjun's not winning against the board 4, but she has 6 minutes more, so that's not good.
Wow.
How's Naroditsky doing?
Do you see what Azoria just decided? This was pretty instructive, Ben. After long thought,
Bishop f6.
Yeah, after long thought, he decided neither of his bishops could be traded for the knight, but his rook was expendable.
This is terrible.
So he kept his. You got no respect for this choice. You're just like it's all terrible.
The knight on e6. I got respect for the knight on e6.
Okay.
That I respect. Now, I mean, and white's up a pawn here.
Yeah.
I mean, white has like a big advantages everywhere and up a pawn. The g file, the pawn on h5 is annoying. Sure. Where's Ginger GM to agree with me? h4, h5. So how's Naroditsky doing? He's their only hope to not lose.
For this round, Naroditsky would be their hope. Let's see what he's up to.
Has a bad position. Wow. He doesn't have more time.
He's playing the board 4 this round. All right. Let's see how he's doing. Naroditsky. Oh. He once beat me from this position with white. Basically this position.
Wow, that board 4 for China is pretty good.
I mean,
it's a pretty good board.
Their position's looking pretty clean. They played the Chigorin defense or something. Let's see.
It looks like a Chigorin, but It was even stranger. It was even stranger than a Chigorin.
that was strange.
Yeah.
Knight c6. Weird. Who saw that coming?
Wow. Okay, quickly. Haha. Yeah. Sidora versus James Morris. Soderowski exceptionally something.
Oh yeah.
They both have
I've got
no
that
time.
one open. We got 10 seconds versus 6.
Yeah.
What the heck is happening to the king side?
Nobody has a big advantage.
Nobody has a big advantage. Somebody's got to be losing or winning here. Bishop takes b5. Bishop takes b5.
Yep. He hung his knight, and the guy didn't expect it because who would hang their knight?
Right.
Always play bishop f1. It stops knight b5. Yes, Sidora didn't believe his opponent hung his knight, so he trusted him.
Yeah. Madness. Wow. Madness. Rook f2.
All 3 results are possible and will happen.
And they will all.
All 3 results are going to happen.
All happen. Ooh. If rook f6, there was rook f1 check, Ben.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he's built up quite a bit of pressure on the f file.
Second.
He can go queen f7 here and win.
That would be a good move.
That'll do it. King g2. Yep. That's a good choice.
Rook c7. Rawr. Okay, rook f5 is even better. Might mate him.
Yeah. He might.
I mean, rook h2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you didn't see him. Yeah, mate one. He had to play rook c3 check.
Got him. Got him.
Wow. Okay, now what's going on here? Okay, those guys drew with no time. That game's over.
All right, so knight takes f8 was played. Queen takes f8, a3. Knight to b4. Whoa. Azori is raining the pieces on Wang Yue.
Yeah.
He's feeling inspired.
He's making it rain like Lil Wayne?
Yeah.
Isn't he down a rook?
Yeah.
Well.
That's how you make it rain. You give up your material.
All right. Well, then you don't have anything to rain with.
Well, the point of making it rain is that you have so much material that you can...
I bet I'm the guy with an extra rook who's 2,700.
Yeah. You give away your material, and you always still have more to keep throwing at them. So.
Dollar bill, y'all. Wow.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 bishops. That's his compensation for a rook.
The problem is he doesn't have a threat. I mean, he's down a rook, but I don't even know why he's down a rook.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it almost looks like suicide chess. Like, next comes bishop b2, queen b2, and then he wants to play rook a2, but he can't because he's already in checkmate.
Yeah, this is not the match isn't going well for San Jose.
Jeez. Well, I mean, what's the explanation of this knight b4 move? I mean, it's like the spirit moved him, but I just don't get it.
Okay. Lots of time for both players.
Yeah. Let's see how Shaq's doing. His game seems to have developed quite a bit along the way.
It's a lot different.
Very different. So we had the sort of calm build-up, but with this weird pawn structure, it looks like calm build-up, but eventually something insane is going to happen, and it does here with g4 from white, starting to explode things before black can just nail him down on e3, and that makes sense. Takes, check, king moves, knight g6, and all the pawns get traded off. And the game goes on. And I don't know. Who's better, Ben?
Pass. I think it's equal, but it's not the equal where it's going to be a draw. It's the equal where somebody's going to win.
Yeah, I also feel like I don't really see any particular advantage for either side here.
But somebody's going to win.
I guess those pawn trades may have been a good idea for Shaq because he was just suffering before, and now it's not as one-sided.
I'm reading the chat. What am I drinking? What do I always drink? Come on, Perrier. Come on, guys. Let's get a sponsor going. Come on, Perrier. You know what to do. Let's see. What are they saying about the games? Anybody saying anything about chess?
Somebody is betting $20 that you will stop being a vegetarian.
I've been a vegetarian for 32 years. Maybe what they mean is vegan. I've been a vegan for 45 days. That's not going to stop either. So when I die, then they're told if I ever stop, then they get paid off. Like, how do you know when to get paid? Exactly.
I don't know who they're betting the $20 with either. I guess they're willing to bet with somebody else. Somebody thinks Azori is going to lose. I don't think anyone's going to bet against them.
Yeah, no, Azoria's down a rook.
Although he did just get the queen.
Somebody said, "Where's the iced tea?"
Things have improved a lot for him.
There's the iced tea. Come on. What soda is that?
Wait a minute. Like Wang Yue is doing something very complicated technique for trying to win this game.
Really?
Very complicated approach to winning this game.
Azoria.
I mean, he just hung a bunch of things with check and all.
What's going on here? What happened? I'm going back because I'm confused.
Well, he's going for this checkmate. It's very complicated.
So, wait a second.
He's chosen the wild road.
Wait, I'm confused here.
I know.
Wow.
I know. It's very confusing.
Wow. He didn't see E3. That's why he played Queen F4.
You think he didn't see E3 here when he went Queen F4?
He did not see E3. No. Yeah.
Oops.
And then he's giving all
and
his
then this Queen
away.
F2 was better than he had hoped it would be, so that was unfortunate for him. So Azoria, somebody was going to bet $20 on Wang Yue, but now it's actually somehow a mess.
Like a perpetual. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. He doesn't win up a rook.
That is pretty darn crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen a player this good
not
win with an extra rook.
Yeah, no wonder Azoria won HB Global. He's tough. Oh. For those of you who don't know, there was a tournament in America that was an open that had a $50,000 first prize, and Azoria won clear first. So he's earning his money here, drawing down a rook against a 2,700. That's funny if that's the first non-zero that they get.
It is. That is the first half point earned by the hackers. This game. I look at the chat for 1 second, and this is what happens. I can't believe that thing. I mean,
yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, back to Mamedyarov. See how he's doing here. We've also got Naroditsky playing against the board 4. You always want to scout these board 4s.
Yeah.
And
Naroditsky's up a pawn.
Naroditsky's up a pawn now.
It's double pawns, isolated pawns. His pawn's blocked. They both have a minute left. I don't think this person's 2,000 strength. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. Well, we'll stick with Mamedyarov for a bit here. There's a queen trade, either offered or forced. Queen h4.
Rook f1 check.
Looks like we're headed to this end game. Rook f7 is playable here.
Bam.
Right? Is it?
I think so.
Isn't it? Looks good.
Maybe.
But then after king g8, you trade into the endgame and the bishop's hanging on h5. That's not good. That's not actually that good.
Yeah.
So rook f7 is a weird blunder. He does it. All right.
King g8. This looks like it's just good for black. Oh, he did it on purpose. Maybe.
We don't know if that was on purpose or not.
No, that wasn't on purpose. That's just bad. Do you remember when Carlsen blundered a piece against Gawain Jones, and the gawking rabble in the chat were like, he must have sacrificed because he's winning, and then we all laughed. So
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was like in Tata Steel. Yeah, that just happened like.
The Carlsen game. Yes.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he sacrificed a piece because he won, and I was like, no. Then he just said he blundered.
Yeah.
So this is just completely winning for black.
Yeah, very, very much.
Up a piece and.
Yeah, I think the best plan is rook e3, rook e2, knight f3. That's what I would go for.
That's a good plan. After rook e2, you better play.
Oh, he wants to do it even faster with rook g5.
Rook g5 is a serious threat. So king g2.
So king g2, then he wants to go knight e1, knight d3, and immediately deal with white's queen side.
Yeah, the truth hurts. Oh, actually, I like that move now. Then I changed my mind.
Oh man, Mamedyarov's gonna like storm out of here. I don't know.
Yeah, I predicted the 0-4. Even if he wins this game, I predict 0-4. That's how confident I am.
He's going to be steaming after this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he saw the mate though.
Steaming mad. Oh man.
Yeah, White's C pawn's pretty strong though. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might not be so mad after all. That's a strong pawn. I mean, White's move is winning. Rook A8 the threat.
Mm-hmm. C7's also a threat, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, C7, Rook E8, probably.
Okay.
Wait, why isn't he losing now? I'm confused.
Seems to be.
Why doesn't Rook A8 win?
Seems
okay, we're gonna find out. I guess we're gonna find out. Oh, because he checks and plays Rook C1, and they takes all the pawns. Okay. Yeah. So black's better, but that should be a draw. Should be a draw.
Should be a draw.
Oh, he doesn't want to draw.
Whoa. Are you sure he doesn't want to draw? I think he wants a draw.
What's happening now? What's going on?
I think he needs a draw. Oh.
No, now White's winning. Wow, White wins.
And quickly.
Amazing.
What?
Amazing.
That doesn't make any sense.
King G3 resigns. Wow.
How did any of what we just saw happen?
Check wins. Yep. And he won. Wow.
I don't even know what I just saw, Ben. That didn't make any sense.
I still think he's going to go 0-4, but he won. My math isn't very good.
What? Naroditsky won his game.
Naroditsky did win too. Maybe San Jose is going to win the match. Naroditsky won that game. He shouldn't have won.
All right, let's see this. Here, everything's sort of like equal or whatever. The C pawn starts running.
Wow, what a turnaround! Where's the scoreboard?
Sacks that.
5-2. Is there a game still going?
Wow.
Let's see. I thought that was all the games. Now I'm confused. I think that's all the games. 5-3. So San Jose won 3-1.
3-1.
So I thought they were going to lose like 3.5 half that round.
Now we've got a match. We were already discussing 16-0 or what?
So wait a minute. If he won, oh, that means that Drew Wenjun won. No, because Azoria drew.
No. Azoria won down a rook. Oh no, he drew. So it was all draw. So those were draws.
So yeah, so the
other game was a draw too.
So Drew Wenjun drew against the board 4 of San Jose. That's a surprise.
Wow, soggy cheese for the draw.
Yeah.
I'm over here checking out Dreyev on board 1 for the Herges sponsored Surfers.
I thought you were married. Oh, you mean watching his game? Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
These things happen.
And weird endgame it is. He's playing Zbigniew Pakleza of the Desert Rats. Probably going to take his king off the c-file. Solid.
Let's see. I can't read the chat because I'm not
prediction.
old enough. Interesting. Oh, so somebody is claiming it's 7:44 in the morning for Mamajarov. I don't know if that's right, but who would write such a thing if it wasn't right? So it's probably right.
I mean, the time does end in 45 now, so that's plausible.
Yeah. Did you see Untouchables, the movie? It came out, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s with Kevin Costner.
Was it about the caste system in India?
No. That's a good. No, it's about Al Capone and Prohibition.
Oh.
Anyway, there's a scene on the bridge, and one guy's a cop. It's Sean Connery, and Kevin Costner has a suit on. They don't know each other, and he stops him on the bridge, and he notices Kevin Costner has a gun, and he says, "Why do you have a gun?" And he says, "I'm a treasury agent." He says, "Oh, okay," and he walks away. And he says, wait, how did you know I was a treasury agent? Maybe I was lying. And he says, now who would say they were a treasury agent if they weren't? So sort of like who would say 7:44 a.m. if it wasn't right?
Yeah.
So I believe him. Yeah. Well, that's not bad. He can actually get a good night's sleep and start at 6 a.m. That's okay.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
I'm sure he woke up after that. Yeah. How did they score 3 with Azoria and a loss? Well, probably there was a draw. So there's 2 draws.
Yeah. Azoria didn't lose. He drew. So
they
got a half a point from Azoria, got a full point from Shak and from Naroditsky. Then half a board from the Soggy Cheese.
I thought this match was over, but it's 5-3. And the Dallas-Australia match is 4-4. And Rio Grande has the usual 4.5 to 3 advantage. Very suspicious.
Yeah.
Wow.
That match can't end in a tie because of Seattle's half-point gambit.
The half-point gambit. Very rarely used successfully, but occasionally.
Well, I can't tell what's going on in this Dreyev Pakleza game.
Ooh, I want to look at Margvelashvili Bortnia because it's really funny. Oh man.
Fair enough.
I'm very excited.
All right. Bortnia.
Is this
Black,
chess?
Queen, knight, rook, go, king, yes.
What's happening?
Man. I once checkmated somebody in this position as black.
In this exact position? Wow.
Yeah. It's something like queen e1 check, and then when they take it, then you get to back rank mate them or something, but not quite.
I like the pawn structure, how the rook's on d6. I like how it looks illegal.
Yeah.
I think white should play rook d1 here and claim he's playing 960. That's what he should do.
It is 3 pawns against a knight for the bean counters out there. So pretty close. Anything could happen. I think knight f2 is a plausible next move here. Threatening queen takes knight. Maybe knight d3 in some cases.
Also knight d3, yeah. Yeah, I like knight f2. Good job. Knight f4 looks good too. I think knight f2 was better. And as per usual, Margvelashvili has 35 seconds. So that's man, I wouldn't have white in this position with no time. I'll take black with no time, but not white.
Yeah, he's gonna have to.
I'm just gonna blunder everything here. Yeah, there's no way I'm not gonna
hustle. So king b1 is a blunder because of queen f1. So queen c2. Right, I mean, he's got to make some of these moves faster. Knight f4, he had to take it. Queen f4 check, he's got to go to c2.
Yeah, king c2 should have been faster.
I mean, he can't be spending 20 seconds on each of these forced moves.
Wow, he played rook e4.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, he was kind of obliged to.
So king c1 was queen f1 check?
Queen f1, and there's always the rook hanging on a1. So.
Yeah, okay.
So this had to happen.
Okay. Is it time for rook c8 and get some other pieces involved? Or can white double rooks then?
Well, rook c8, rook e1. I mean, if he lets white play rook e1, then the game goes on. So
then always play king b1. Yeah.
Bortnyk would love to stop it, but
Can
I
I
don't
play
see
rook
how.
d4 with the idea of d5?
Yeah.
Okay, he played rook c8, so what do I know?
Okay.
I guess I don't know anything. He played rook d4 after.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow, this is hard to play white.
Yeah, really hard because white's losing.
Yeah, the rook's hanging and the knight's pinned, and he's got 10 seconds.
He's got to go like queen b7 and then d5 still wins because the queen defends the rook on c8.
5 seconds, David.
He's just losing. Queen e4 is really convincing now.
Wow, what a blunder. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it's not a blunder when you...
Right, but he didn't see it.
when you got 2 seconds and you're lost.
Yeah, right. Wow. Exciting chess today.
Yeah. Yeah. Ouch.
Wait, is that accurate? Okay, so Michalewski lost with 1 second left.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, he was losing anyway. Yeah. So
All
we
right.
just started Naroditsky versus Wang Yue.
Yeah, Mamedyarov popped up for me at the same moment.
Close. Surprisingly close.
Naroditsky, Wang Yue, that should be a match. Bishop f4, huh? All right.
Yeah, nobody's in terrible time trouble yet. Those are my favorites.
This
As long
match
as
is
it's
heating
not
up.
me, well, that's okay.
Let's quickly glance over and see like who's got the best scores so far.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I think Rio Grande has the best score.
Yeah, but I'm thinking also like player-wise, if there's anybody on a perfect score so far. So we got our big scores up here. We've got the Rio Grande Ospreys getting a pretty big lead against the Sluggers with their last-minute substitution and their no Naka lineup.
Well, Bortnyk has 3. That's a lot of points.
Bortnyk has 3, so that's got to be a perfect 3 out of 3, and that's the only 3 I see.
How can Jacek Stopa be board 4 and have 0? Oh, because he played board 1 in the first. Okay, he plays 1, then 2, then 3,
He's
then
played
4.
1 and 2
that's
so
why.
far, so.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. Because that's a pretty high-rated board 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So is Kui Bokarov, if you recall. So we got 2 really, really high rated board 4s here, 2400 plus FIDE, and not really working out just yet. Not tearing it up. So we'll see if that comes through for them at some point. Yeah, all right. So Bortnyk's the guy to watch next round for the 4-0.
Yeah, Michael Brown's 2-0 on board 2.
Oh, that's nice. 2 for 2. I guess there are still some 2 for 2s, huh?
2 for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, today's Wednesday. Maybe not.
There's only one person who's already won a 3rd game. He's kind of like ahead of the whole round here. All right. So Wang Yue playing a6 just to get in c5 without knight b5.
Yep.
So now he'll just have to withstand White's development lead for a little bit. See what kind of openings Mamedyarov has in mind. Wait, that's the wrong one. All right, here we go. Taking on Zhu Wenjun, board 2.
Danny Wrench in the chat. Wow. Who would have thought?
Oh, yeah?
Not I. Not I.
What is he saying?
He doesn't even go to sleep after his stream.
Nice.
Let's see. He said, "Great, we're great. We're the greatest."
Okay.
Okay, maybe I'm making that up, but he's saying something like that.
Something like that.
How is Danny
All right.
Wrench in the chat? Let's see. How is he so good at chess? No, nobody said that. Nobody's ever said that. Let's see. The chat is even more suspicious than usual, which is impossible. So, good job, guys. I give you a hand. Wow, Rio Grande 8 to 3.5.
Yeah.
What? Now, who lost half a point that match? Was it Rio Grande or Seattle? Who's getting penalized?
It was Seattle that lost half a point. They started with -0.5, so it's now 8 to 4
Wow,
equivalent.
that's pretty desperate.
But I guess they've now lost the match with 1 round to go because there's 4 games
They can only
left.
get 7.5.
They can
That's
only
right.
get 7.5.
Yeah, that match is over. Wow.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you play without Nakamura and Sargsyan, that's not a good idea.
Not a good idea. No bueno.
Not the best idea. Yeah. Why?
So Mamedyarov trading the light squared bishops. This looks a lot like the game that Lanier Dominguez won as black against Naka.
I remember that game.
Way back when, right?
We were commenting on that game. That was Dominguez's only win.
That was us.
And that was Naka's only loss. And Naka was 3-0. Yeah. That was a very impressive game.
All right, knight e4. That game was kind of similar, but I guess the dark squared bishops had been traded in the opening. Bishop b4 check, bishop d2. So
That's right.
there was one less piece on the board with all this maneuvering. You wouldn't think that the bishop on b2 really beautifies white's position, but it does give him opportunities to go knight d6, knight f6, that kind of thing, and release that bishop. So it is an extra bishop to make things more complicated. And now they're really going to fight over this d pawn with, you know, I mean, black plays f6 to stop it, but otherwise potential sort of tactics on the king side to mix in there.
Yeah, black wants to stop that bishop from b2 from getting active. So bishop d4.
Well, that's surprising. What's that about, Ben?
I think he wants to take the knight.
Just wants to get rid of that blockader before it gets to d7.
Yeah.
And Ju says, like, well, you know what? This knight's got a job. And it's going to get right on that job. All right, so now Mamedyarov. I mean, he's playing that pretty fast, that decision.
Yeah,
H4.
both players are playing
They're playing quite fast for what looks complicated to me. So he's thinking of queen d6. He always has bishop takes f6, and that just... right, because the rook's on the d1 square, and that'll just open up the board for his bishop even more. So he's just running his h-pawn up the board, looking to soften their king.
With the commentary, h4, h5, he'd be proud.
Yeah. So what's coming next here?
Even I like it.
h6? Maybe e5 should be played for black at some point. Just tell that bishop to shut it.
Yeah, I can really surround that pawn. If I play e5, I can try to play knight f8 and rook e6 and really attack that pawn on d6.
All right, so now Shak is having a little think about it. I am just shocked at how fast they played this.
You're shocked at Shak?
Yeah.
So you're saying you shook your head because you were shocked at Shak?
Yeah. That's
true.
what I'm saying, Dr. Zeus.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't shriek.
No.
So that's, yeah.
I didn't shriek from my beak. All right.
Indeed.
So I would think that, yeah, I mean, they're just playing too fast for me to figure out what's going on. I need more time to figure this out. I mean, we can assume that white has rook lifts in their plans, and the h6 pawn break. He hasn't played h6 yet, so maybe he thinks that h6, g6 isn't that amazing for him.
Yeah, but I would have played h6.
But you would have done it anyway. So you're not you're not afraid of g6. I mean, that's the only move he could have been afraid of, right? I mean, pawn takes pawn is pretty heinous for the black king's cover. So it'd be g6. Maybe even e5 first, you know, maybe e5, bishop b2, g6.
Maybe it's right not to play h6, as he can put a rook on g3, as you said.
Yeah, okay, so let's see.
Rook lift slash rover.
After bishop b2, e5 was played. So he could still play h6, and then there'd be g6.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe he hasn't yet decided on that. So what else is on the cards? He could go queen to g4 just to get a little closer. He could lift a rook.
Yeah, both players have tons of time for so many moves being played. Yeah, this looks like it's equalish, but again, as I said before in another position, it's the kind of equal where I don't expect a draw.
Yeah, I mean, it feels to me like that d-pawn's going to get encircled and eaten.
In the long run, it looks good for black, but in the short run, white might have some big attack.
Okay. Okay. Just planning to make the d pawn a little bit harder to eat. And there's always bishop a3 to defend it, so the knight goes to c5 instead of f8. And Zhu Wenjun is confident, man. She's banging out those moves.
She's an aggressive player, it's true. And she likes to play fast. Very similar to Mamedyarov, just not as high rated. But that's her style.
Okay. So how about h6, and then if g6, queen f3, or maybe even just queen f3 here. The idea is that anytime black takes the pawn on d6 to have queen a8 check at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That should keep white in the game. I mean, I feel like black can win the pawn, but then it's not always so easy. Not always.
Yeah, but it's like white staying in the game with tricks, but maybe that's what you can do.
Isn't that kind of how this stuff works? It's like one trick after the next till something.
He just defended his pawn.
He just defended it. Boring. No tricks. No tricks at all.
So what, knight e4, queen d3, knight c5 draw?
I mean, he's still sort of relying on tricks because of knight e4. Knight e4, queen d3, knight d6, and then the knight can't move, and bishop a3.
Yeah,
that's not a way to successfully win this pawn. So, for anybody wondering about that,
for somebody to win.
Yeah.
Let's look at Dreyev's game with the guy whose name I can't pronounce. There's 4 passed pawns, and Dreyev has 15 seconds.
Wow, this endgame was always pretty weird to me.
Yeah.
The f pawn looks threatening at the moment, but I guess the g pawn's good too.
G pawn looks pretty good.
These guys are both pretty good. All right.
Yeah. They're both good players.
So this whole position is still pretty weird. And the last exchange of moves that's happened was h5 was played by white, gh, g6. So there's been some tactics to get to this whole thing.
g6. Can Dreyev pull it off with 15 seconds left?
Probably.
That's a good answer. I like watching the games where both sides have no time. Then I don't feel so bad. I feel like it's not just me.
All right, so knight h4 allows knight takes f4, and then, well, I guess that's what he's calculating. Then the bishop attacks that knight, right? So, oh no, he went for something else. Wasn't bishop c7 interesting?
Then could I play...
on bishop c7, you move your bishop to like h6, and then bishop takes f4, g7.
Right.
Okay, so that didn't happen. So instead, knight f5, knight takes h5, take. Oops.
3 seconds left.
Bishop d4 was pretty good. I wonder if you saw that coming. That should be a draw.
Maybe.
So I don't know if this counts as Dreyev pulling it off or not. I mean, he definitely didn't lose, but he didn't convert it.
He could still win.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah, he can. The black king can't get over there.
So black could lose this position, you're saying?
It's possible. Yeah, because his king can't get over there. King c6. And then king d5, king d6. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it should be a draw, but maybe, I don't know. No, I guess it's a
win. Wasn't knight d4 just winning last move?
No, I think he's winning. I think he's winning now.
Okay.
Yeah, that king can't get over there. I mean, it might not be a win, but I'll take white. I think he's going to win.
But he missed like a 2-move win with knight d4, right? I think he
won with knight d4. I think
just
you're
queen
right.
the g pawn.
Yeah. Okay. Now he wants to play knight f6.
That's right, knight f6. But now there's still options here.
Yeah.
Trap him in. Bring the king over.
Not good.
Wow. Threatening knight e8 too. So bishop h8.
What's his bishop on h8? Well, that just loses because I play king f7 and knight g4. That's it.
Yep.
That just loses out of hand. Knight
g4.
Yeah. So he did pull it out.
So he did pull it out. This is the real pulling it out, is winning this thing.
That's exactly.
Nasty. For anyone wondering what I was talking about here, I'll move 57, knight d4. Just blocking the bishop with the idea of this g-pawn.
Andreev solid.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So another matchup here, Naroditsky against Wang Yue. Still going. Still so far looking kind of playable for both sides. And now it's looking crazy. He took on e6. So,
wow, you came at the right time.
So he's converting it into this endgame. With basically the argument that black's knights are not that good yet. So he's going to try and make progress on the king side, where he doesn't have a passed pawn or anything. I mean, he's just going to try and outmaneuver with his rook. That's aggressive. I mean, he must be confident in this choice, because he could have kept playing normally as well. Oh, but he always, yeah.
I'm not sure who's better here. I like having lots of pieces. So I don't know.
So he's going to go...
all three results possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this is good.
Yeah, I don't know.
If he goes rook e1, then maybe knight c6 to keep the rook out. We got a grandmaster in chat saying that it looks good for white.
Yeah, usually in the endgame you want pawns, and the knights can't get to good squares.
Right.
I'd like to play knight f5, knight e3 by cheating, or knight f5, knight e4, but I guess that's too much cheating.
If you even had one knight on either of those squares, I would think black would be winning.
I'm trying to cheat, but they don't let me.
Because then white doesn't have any files for the rooks, but... Huh, what a decision.
All right, who has no time? Everybody has a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, these board fours in the China San Jose match are pretty good.
What do you think of Holt's game?
I think Holt doesn't have any time on his clock.
That's true.
I've been looking at that game.
I was looking at his position.
How do you have 17 seconds against 4.5 minutes? How can you do that?
On move 20. He spent like a minute per move pretty much.
That's
like
that's not like the Mamedyarov game with Chu and Jun where they both move instantly. Slightly.
Someone just asked me to show some Dallas Destiny games. This happens to be a Dallas Destiny game. Good timing.
There you go. We aims to please.
All right, Serrana keeps the dark squared bishop. That seems like a good choice, actually. I approve. Yeah. I approve that decision.
He'll be glad to hear that.
Yeah.
No, White's position is very reasonable. It's hard to believe that he can play the rest of the game in 15 seconds. But I guess with a 2-second increment, you can do it.
Yeah, especially with all the practice that Conrad has. Playing with just that increment. Yeah, that dark squared bishop's really important for black. Serrana had to do that bishop h8 thing. That was a good maneuver.
If White doubles on the h-file, what's he doing? Where's he going? I'm not sure. Ah, queen a2. The only square for the queen?
Wow. Quite the square.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't like this bishop g5, rook h4. I don't think there's an attack over there.
Those pieces are kind of drifting.
Black's bishop on f7 is a monster. There's no white squared bishop for.
It introduces the potential of knight f7 at some point, winning that bishop randomly, or even knight f3 could be a good way to just win things. How about rook d4 here?
I think you can play knight
now
f3.
that we've mentioned it, why not rook d4?
Rook d4, knight f3.
Pawn takes knight f3. What do you think, Ben?
I like it. I like it.
Is this an actual blunder by white?
I like it.
That's the kind of thing that's going to happen with 14 seconds, and you play a middle game for 20 moves. Yeah. If it doesn't happen this move, it'll happen at some point.
By the way, Naroditsky Wang Yue agreed to a draw without making any more moves after rook f3.
Seriously?
Wow. Yeah, Wang
Like,
Yu must have offered a draw.
Rook f3.
Yeah.
It's perfectly
Draw.
balanced and active. Good choice, my friend.
Yeah, wow.
And Danya played that whole bishop takes e6 move because he wanted to just agree to a draw. That is hard to fathom how that's the quickest way to a draw.
Right, yeah. It's crazy.
All right. Their other game that we'd really been following was this game here with Mamedyarov and Zhu Wenjun. And we see that Mamedyarov eventually engineered f4 to break open his bishop.
Right.
And it cost him this pawn on d5. And then he goes rook f1. So he's down a pawn on the queen side that he's basically saying he does not care about at all. He just wants the king side open.
Black's pieces look pretty good.
Just wants his bishop open.
Black has a lot of good pieces.
You think Black's doing pretty well?
Yeah. Black's pieces are great. She's up a pawn. I'm sorry.
And knight d3 might make a lot of sense as well. Rook f6 would be the issue. Yeah, rook f6 would be the issue. Oh, and it's white's move. My goodness.
Yeah. By the way, that exchange
Problematic.
sacrifice was played by Serrano against Holt. And
Okay.
Serrano's completely winning. Yeah, he's
Up. Why can't I? Sorry. Clicking
Yep.
everywhere. Got him. All right, there it is, folks. So we're just
There's a
saying
knight
that
on
that
F3.
arrangement of pieces of the rook and bishop didn't feel right. So it happened. He sacks on d4, knight f3, knight h3 to defend the bishop. He doesn't go
Black
take
has
that
two
bishop.
bishops and an extra pawn.
Takes
Dominating
d4,
position.
comes
Yeah.
back to f3. That rook on f4 is never better than a minor piece because it can never get to an open file again. Sacks itself. All right. So now Black's got everything?
Yep. And then some.
Everything and then some.
Everything and more.
All right. He's got the b2 pawn if he wants to trade queens on d1. He could also
Yep,
keep
he
playing the
agreed
middle
with
game.
you.
He agreed. He's like, I'll take that b pawn.
He's up
sure.
2 pawns with a rook on the 7th and the 2 bishops and a winning time advantage.
There's straight up nothing that can go
Wow,
wrong.
here
I'll
comes-
take the a pawn. I'll take the c pawn.
Yeah, Holt wants to play knight f4.
Knight
bishop
f4
f3.
and try and take something. I mean, the thing is, even if he took on e2, that would be straight up losing, right? So knight f4 is not really much of a threat.
Yeah, he could play bishop a5, bishop a3, and bishop c5.
Here, I would play bishop a3, knight f4, bishop c5,
c5,
and
yeah.
just say, like, great, your knight's on f4.
Mhm.
You can't do anything. But he's got the luxury of a minute against 5 seconds, so he can
Also good.
be a little bit careful about it all. Yeah.
He did what you said.
It's like, why not? Here it comes. Ow. Ow.
That's good.
Man, this is another of my favorite positions to have. This one Serrano has. When you've got so many extra pawns that you can just allow any trades and just keep posting your pieces deeper and deeper.
Sidora's going to beat Smirnov because he has an extra piece. That's a good reason.
All right.
And what's going on here? He didn't take. Okay, the game you're looking at.
I'm still watching Serrano just finish it
Yep.
off here, letting
not good
people
for white.
feel the logical conclusion of it all
Yep.
as he swoops in on f2 and then starts to convert the f pawn. f2, f1.
Very good.
There you go. Serrano.
Yep.
Well done, man. Well done. He's
Wow,
now-
Mahmoud Yarov's game got crazy.
now got a
And
couple
then it got
points.
less crazy because they traded queens.
Right. So last we saw queen a3 was played. Zhu Wenjun didn't let the queen into a7, followed by, g7 or something. a5, rook f6, rook d1, king here, queen g4. Okay.
What's the score of this match? 5.5, 3.5. So Chengdu has up by 2 points.
So Mamedyarov got his pawn back, as far as I can tell. He's got an open position. The black king can't move. The b pawn's hanging. The e pawn looks pretty solid. I would say the signs point to some kind of an edge for Schach.
Yeah, but if his bishop gets attacked, he can play rook b6, I guess. Yeah.
He'll come up with something. I don't know. I was just given my instinct, not really calculating anything.
Yeah, Shaq's obviously escaped because before I thought he was worse. I
Yeah.
could have been wrong. I think he was worse.
Could have. Meanwhile, the Pandas Did get to 5.5 points so far. So the match is not decided yet. The win for Serrana keeps the Kangaroos up 2 against Dallas Destiny, which is one of the top 2 teams. Destiny and Panda's tied for first.
So rook takes b6,
Rook
king
takes
f7.
b6, king f7.
So black got her king out of there, which is a good idea.
Yeah. Shock wants to play bishop c3 without rook d3 check. That's the explanation of what he just did. He doesn't want that bishop just sitting on b2 for too long.
It's funny that h6 pawn could become strong if he can check and take on h7.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That could be a strong pawn.
Definitely a big danger in this position.
As Mike Kummer would say, definitely, definitely.
No idea who that is, but that's
Don't know
what
who
I
Mike
say.
Kummer is? The Mike Kummer?
No.
The St. Louis Chess Club?
No.
You haven't seen Mike Kummer's videos, otherwise you'd know who he is.
Okay.
You're a lucky man, David Pruce, a lucky man.
I know. I know. All right, so the knight allows the rook to b7, plans to guard g7 and blockade this pawn. But this is a very passive arrangement to have the king go back to g8, isn't it?
It's very passive.
There's
But she
something
must have heard me
that
not to lose her
feels
h-pawn.
something that feels not ideal about it.
No, Shaq has the advantage.
I mean, rook e7's playable at some point. I'm not saying exactly now it has to be played, but this is not like a blockade. This is
No.
This is like a few pieces of duct tape holding a building together.
Duct tape is strong though, so maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, the board 4 for San Jose is beating the China board 3. Wow, he has a great position.
Sorry, whose game?
This is Soggy Cheese.
Soggy Cheese.
Soggy Cheese is killing it, but his time situation is suspicious.
All right, show me what you're up to, Soggy Cheese.
Wait, what did he do? Knight takes G4? Am I old enough for that? Wow.
Violence from the cheese.
That might be good.
Okay.
That might be a good move.
What's good about it? It's certainly flashy. I mean, it's the
take
kind of
the
move you
rook
only
and
play if it's good, but...
If you take the knight, I take on h1 and play queen h7 check.
Okay.
If you don't take the knight, what do you do?
And after queen h7 check, what are you doing?
I'm taking your rook on e4.
Isn't it defended by a bishop on c2?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay.
I'm the worst player in my chair.
So I could go queen h2 or king g1. All right, back we go. Knight g4. We don't know the point yet. Pawn takes knight. I would guess they would start with f3 check, king g1, then rook h1, king h1. Oh, maybe there's queen a1. Queen a1 somewhere there? Look at that, Ben. fg4, f3 check. If the king goes to g1 to defend the rook on h1, then there's queen a1. Rook to e1.
Right.
Queen e1, queen e1, f2, queen f2, rook h1, king h1, rook f2. It should be illegal to calculate that if you're rated 1900.
That's right.
How did he do that? Rook takes h6 was played, leaving the queen hanging. Okay.
And what would happen on king g3 after f3 check?
Oh.
Oh, then the rook's just hanging on h1.
Then it would be rook takes rook.
Yeah, the rook's just hanging on h1. Yeah. So that was pretty forced.
So knight g4 was actually like sort of a brilliancy.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Then he played rook h6.
Wait, you're not allowed to play brilliancies as a 1900.
Yeah.
And you're especially not allowed to play brilliancies as a 1900 against one of these pandas. This does not happen.
These board 4s are tough.
All right, so the idea is knight f2, rook e to e6, I think. Defending the rook on h6, saving the rook on e4, threatening rook g6, and king f2. I mean, this is just like he's looking for some way to stay in the game and maybe get a position where Vinesh can't convert easily with 30 seconds. That's the weakness to Vinesh's situation so far. So rook takes h6, nice move. I mean, black also has the option to bail out with knight takes h6, right? Just take their extra pawn.
Well, he's got 20 seconds left.
I mean, that knight would threaten to come to like a dark square. Okay, he's got to cut it off. He's threatening rook g6.
20 seconds is not good.
It is not good. I thought he would go rook f6 there, but instead knight f5. Okay,
No,
so he wants to just trade the pieces and keep it simple, but
wow, Black found that brilliant shot, and he's still. By the way, Mamadjarov won.
Collapse.
Mamadjarov won his game
Against Ju Wenjun. Yeah, we
Yep.
kind of could feel that last time we checked. He played
That was going
a4,
wrong.
and then look, he played rook e7, Ben.
Yep.
Just like we
Yep.
said, that's not a blockade. Trades into that, check, goes the other way,
5.5, 4.5 for the pandas.
resigns. He's threatening the h pawn with this
Wow.
and the a pawn with that, and ugh.
I take back everything bad I ever said about anybody. I thought it might be 16-0. Now I'm not sure who's going to win the match.
Now we don't know who will win the match. No, we don't. G4. All right, Vinesh. You got to go for it. If you're going to go for it, you got to go for it. Uh-oh.
You got to go. You got to go.
That move really undoes what you're doing. He hadn't counted on king f8, queen c5 check. And now he seems undone. I think queen c5 is pretty safe
No,
for
white
the
just
panda. And white just cleans it all up.
Yep, takes everything.
Takes every single pawn.
Stripper
Oh.
chest, take it all off.
Oh, from brilliancy to collapse.
From greatest of all time to an actual goat. Man, it's tough. Man, he survived knight takes g4.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't survive that. I would have just lost.
That's some toughness. Queen c8, queen c7. I think he'll do it.
It's a tied match after this game, right? All tied up.
Man, I'm still impressed by Soggy Cheese, man. Even if he collapsed,
Yeah.
he had some guts there, and he was threatening to beat one of the league's top performers here.
That was some hard cheese before it got soggy.
Yeah. Well, this panda's not an easy one to beat. Okay,
So
so
5.5, 5.5.
that's going to keep the pandas on top, actually. No, that'll be a point for the pandas, so they'll be up 6.5, 4.5
San Diego
here.
has surged in the lead against the Desert Rats. 7.5, 4.5.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the surfers.
Yep.
All right, and it looks like it's board 1 versus board 1 time for the surfers here.
It's time.
So we got Kacyan versus Dreyev. All right, Melik, what's up here? Some kind of long Caro-Kann
Yeah, it's a very long Caro-Kann variation.
thing.
And looks like Black's better.
White's down a pawn at the end of
Black's
it,
up
and
a
his
pawn.
D pawn is pinned.
Did he lose his H pawn? Which
nothing
pawn
good
did he
about
have?
this
Knight
thing.
takes H5. Yeah, he lost his H pawn.
Rook takes D2. Unclear how planned this was, but
Yeah.
it did not work out. Straight into the pressure on the D pawn. This is like a paint by numbers win for Dreyev. I know it's only like 3 minutes into the round, but
Let's look at
that's
the
looking
Chinese
pretty good
Zhao
for the
Jinyan
surfers.
versus Azoria.
Okay.
Azoria 1, 2, 3. 19 seconds for Azoria. And looks like he's probably losing because his king is very suspicious.
But he's up a pawn, and anything could happen, you would normally say. Are
Yeah,
you
but-
not showing some GM Brotherhood bias there?
What happens on bishop E1 to B4?
Bishop to G4 or G3?
No, bishop E1 to G4.
Bishop E1 to G4. That's not how bishops move.
No, E1 to B4. E1.
Oh, bishop E1 to B4.
But he
Sorry.
didn't play. He played rook E1. He showed me.
Played rook E1. That move.
That was a bad
What
move.
he's showing you is that you're wrong to assume he's going to win.
Well,
your
that is
idea,
true.
your idea seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave
like
up the
I'll say.
split square. Yeah, that was a very strange idea. Well, okay,
Cool.
now
Cool.
Black's fine or better.
Beyond fine.
Right.
Beyond fine.
Okay. Man, this match is I mean 4-0 and now they're going to take the lead. San Jose takes the lead if they win this game.
Do they? No.
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 Oh, because the Pandas won
The
a game. that I
Pandas are
missed.
still up.
The Pandas won a game that I missed.
No, we were watching it. You just adjudicated it to the other team.
That's right.
We we saw them survive knight takes G4 and win the game.
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah.
He just hung a rook?
Yeah, he blundered the old bishop C5. I thought that he'd seen it in
Wait,
this
then he
position.
hung a rook?
Oh, he did too?
What?
Well, that's abysmal.
Everybody hangs a rook.
That is
Just have bishop C1. Say, wow,
unexpectedly bad.
what's happening? Is this a draw or a win? I don't know. Probably a win.
I think this pawn's dead, so it's a win because
it's
you
a
can't
win.
stop knight d4 and knight h4.
Wow, they both hung a rook. You can't hang a rook anymore. There's no more rooks. That's incredible.
Yeah. That was unreal.
That was important for the match.
Yeah, I was going to say on move 45, when black played rook a4 instead of rook a3, I thought that meant that he saw the bishop c5 check thing. So I was like, he's not going to fall for it. And then on king b5, he took on a3. Knight c4 and 1. Wow. Jeez.
And that was their board 4 again for China.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So not quite what they were hoping for. Let's see, Sarana versus Satoransky. According to my chart here of results so far, Sarana has 2 out of 3, and Sadora has 2.5 out of 3.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but 2.5.
Even better.
Yeah.
So Rio Grande has won their match against Seattle. San Diego's going to probably win against Las Vegas. If one of those charts from Greg Shahadi was up, it would say 97.7%.
Okay.
The other matches are a coin toss with Australia and China up by 1.
Yeah. 6.5, 5.5. Yep.
Now, is everybody playing their last game, or am I confused?
Yeah. Yeah. This is round 4.
Everybody.
I mean, the Pandas and the Hackers haven't started round 4 yet, but right now I've got the top board matchups of the Desert Rats versus the Surfers and the Destiny versus the Ruse.
It's a ruse, I tell you. Ruse.
So Sarana here with white. I mean, I don't know I don't really like this pawn on f5, but I guess you can play like this. I don't know. Is white better? White should be a little bit better according to my justice.
Yeah. So Bortnick is beating Michalewski. Is that 4-0 for Bortnick?
If he is, then yes. Let's see.
I think he's 3-0, right?
He's definitely 3-0. He's the only 3 on the board here.
Well, Michalewski's king is a little suspicious.
There's Dreyev also. So we got 2 3-0 board 4s in their final matchups here. Let me just see if I can show everybody the standings.
Yeah, but Bortnick is his opponent.
Two 3-pointers here. Bortnick and Dreyev. All right, let's keep our eyes on these guys.
That was a very nice last move from Bortnick, G4.
Very nice move, G4.
Where's Matt Larson when you need him?
All right,
if Queen G4, Rook G1, and if F G4, Bishop D3 check, followed by Rook H1, followed by
Oh yeah, opening this diagonal is pretty classic. King to
that
somewhere.
Black King's no good on
G6.
G6. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Wow, so he's going to 4-0 Bortnick.
G4, what a move.
Now, who had Bortnick in their fantasy to go 4-0?
I don't know. But it looks like he used an exchange sack at some point here. This game looks great. I just want to see the whole game, Ben.
Would you say he's an exchange student? Oh, an exchange sack.
An exchange sack. Yeah. Oh, he played this old Bishop F4 thing. Quick H4, H5. Wow, look at this. This is what the fans want to see, Ben.
Yeah.
H4, H5. Just sack the rook.
Everybody wants to see it except Michalewski.
Oh, man. Look at the pressure from Queen H2 on move 9. Have you ever seen that move before?
Queen H5.
The C pawn can't move because the bishop takes B8.
I have seen that idea before.
You've seen that before? That's pretty hilarious.
Not that move, but that idea.
I guess Black's best move there might have been King D7. G4 resigns.
Time to show you.
Thinks about it for a while. Had enough. Wow. So that's 4 points for Alexander Bortnick.
That's reasonable.
The Ospreys run away with this match. Wow. That's their first match win of the year, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If I throw this up for a second. You can see Rio Grande Ospreys with half a point out of 5 matches up till this round, and then boom, there they are. Bortnick. I think it's his first match for them, so this may be an important.
Did anybody have him in their fantasy? Anybody?
Wow. Maybe not. I mean, he was an unknown quantity essentially.
Hammer
this
had
is like
Bortnick. Hammer knew what he was talking about. It says Hess and Hammer had Bortnick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the strong players know what's up. I don't know nothing.
Somebody knew. Hess is very informed on all this stuff. He's from the informed commentator team, or the what's going on commentator team.
So we got 2 matches at 6.5, 5.5, and the last round is starting for. I guess the China match hasn't started yet, or has it? With San Jose.
Not
Show
yet.
me the way to San Jose.
All right, I'm going back to Dreyev. Oh, we also said that Dreyev was going to win his game, right? So that's going to be 2 4-0s on
That's
board
correct.
1.
Dreyev is winning. Yeah.
2 4-0s this week. I guess it makes sense that it's on board 1. I mean, they're the best players, and you play everyone on every team. So yeah.
Wow.
But this is the first I've seen Bortnick play for Rio Grande, as far as I can recall. So seems to be a big debut for him and a big move for them to bring him in.
In a Pyrrhic victory, Mark Velashvili beat Velus, but it's too little too late.
Okay, so we get 2 4-0s, and I'm going to switch my attention.
Yeah,
Let's see, the Surfers have 7.5. So let's see what more do they need to finish this off. Well, Dreyev winning would be 8.5. So that's pretty conclusive. So
well, he's going to win. Better. He's got better everything. Extra pawn. He's killing it on D4. He's killing it on the king side. He's got 6 minutes extra.
Yeah.
He's got everything.
All right. So back to the Destiny then. Do you feel like Serrano with the series of trades has made any progress, or is Sidora hanging in there?
He's hanging in there. Yeah, I'd rather have white, but black's okay maybe. The E6 pawn's pretty weak.
Yeah. But it's feeling less critical, right? Just like you would prefer to be white, but it's not really like you'd be sweating bullets as black. How about board 2 in this match? Bullets. How about board 2 in this match? Smirnov versus Holt looks like another classic Holt French defense.
Yep.
So Winnower, this bishop on A3 looks good. I would think that white's winning.
It's the Holt variation.
Is this called the Holt variation?
Well, I call it that because Holt's always doing that.
So I would think that white's winning, except, you know, we have to calculate queen C3, queen A4. I guess there's a bishop hanging on D3. So actually, we can't just assume who's winning based on one bishop diagonal, can we?
Yeah, queen C3, I play bishop B2, right?
Yeah, suppose so. And then the queen is trapped. So that's good news for black. Next variation, queen takes A4.
Good question. Very good question.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 questions to this position. The first one was bad. The second one seems to be more interesting. What do you think? Bishop B2, queen B5? That doesn't help anything.
No.
Have you ever seen those? Do you remember those like comments where you see doesn't help bishop B5, queen B3? That's always a funny formulation.
Yeah, probably queen A4. I play rook B7. If you take my bishop, I probably just take back. And then white's threatening everything on the 7th rank.
So you would take back on D3 before D7 because you don't want this pawn to keep going.
That's right. And then white has a lot of threats, and the queen on A4 is weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's what he's calculating.
But then black plays bishop C8 and still just wins.
Well...
Yeah. Come on, he just wins.
Well, maybe.
He just wins.
Maybe.
He's up a minor piece, and the bishop on A3 can't move, so...
Yeah, but I could play rook B to B1, and now I'm threatening bishop E7.
Rook B to B1.
I'm not sure what you do about it. I'm doing it in my head, so I can't even see where the pieces are.
Well, I would play queen C2 for black and win. Anyway, didn't happen.
E7 knight's not hanging.
E7 knight's like super defended at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, he didn't go in for any of it. He just played queen back to D8, bishop back to E2, and now black's winning because of and now white's winning because of the aforementioned positional factors.
There you go. Yeah.
So, rook B to B1, beautiful. He's done his job. Somehow he convinced that queen not to take all the pieces on the queen side.
Right.
Now he can head home, proud of himself. F4.
Okay, the San Jose match with the Chengdu Pandas has started.
It's starting up. All right.
Let's see. Benko. We have a weird opening. Then we have a boring opening.
We've got the top board matchup: Wang Yue versus Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. They both have 2 out of 3 up to this point. Most shocking upset of the day by far, Mamedyrov's one loss.
Yep, that's for sure. Then it was shocking that he won the second game.
And then it was the second most shocking result was that he didn't just lose every game after that.
Yeah, yeah. He's also probably worse in his third game.
Yeah.
But yep, that's why he's Shaq. That would be an amazing comeback if San Jose doesn't lose the match. That's incredible.
I mean, 4-0. I know it's only one round, but like I don't know if anyone's ever lost 4-0, but if they have, they did not come back.
No.
The other
there's a funny game. The guy whose name I can't pronounce versus Michael Brown.
Okay, let's look for
Hey,
him.
why don't you pronounce it for me, and then they can make fun of you instead of me.
I've pronounced it for you like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah? Were you right every time?
Well, I've said it different ways. I'm waiting for one to get approval.
Zbigniew Pakleza?
Yeah.
How's that?
I say Zbigniew usually, but yeah, okay. Zbigniew, whatever.
So the reason I wanted you to look at the game was the time disparity is very strange.
Yeah.
Now that's a time disparity.
Yeah. On the other hand, Black's position doesn't look so bad for the 22nd guy,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Like this B2 pawn, rook on C2, pawn on A3 is the whole structure is perfect for Black, right? Bishop takes E5. White's struggling to come up with a couple last threats, but Brown's dealing with them. And
no, I mean, White probably has nothing, but
White has run out of things to do now.
He's got a lot of huge time advantage. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's amazing. He just has this attack that doesn't work, and then Black's running amok on the queen side.
Yeah, he's rich in time once his position's always lost. It's like having a lot of money in a certain currency after it's been devalued. Just doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, Michael Brown's position's okay, but
yeah, super
time
okay.
situation is good.
Super okay. How's Michael Brown doing so far today? My stats say he has 2.5 out of 3. Whoa.
Wow, E4. Wow, White went crazy. Wow.
We had to do something, no?
Well, he has to resign.
Uh-oh.
He has to resign.
The only thing left to do is resign. Wait.
Yep.
Yeah. He could play rook takes E6 and hope Black takes on G1 with the wrong piece. That's the last shot.
Ah, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
That's the last shot from a bullet.
I would have checked and taken with the rooks and my E6 pawns defended, but I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, he resigned. Doesn't matter. Wow.
All right.
So he got
Michael
3.5
Brown,
out of 4, David?
3.5 out of 4. That's going to be the top non-board 1 performance this week.
That's pretty good.
And and trending towards a pretty significant Surfer's victory this round. I mean, given that, Andreev probably hasn't messed up his rook ending. I'll just double check that real quick.
The Surfer's already won, right?
Yeah. Well, that was their official win, was that point. But they've still got 3 games going.
2 close matches.
Looks like Andreev's still winning.
Yeah.
So A5, rook B4. Looks like he'll be able to clean up these and come out ahead 2 pawns and probably convert this one. So yeah, rook B6 takes. Oh, king C4. He could still draw it, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Andreev actually messed it up. He's not going to go 4-0, is he?
Really? Why not? He's not going to go 4-0?
Because he needs to win this game to go 4-0.
He's not going to win this game? Isn't this just winning?
I don't know.
I just got your king off and I win.
He lost the second extra pawn.
Rook D1.
Rook G1 or rook D1 win.
Yeah.
Okay,
rook
so he
G3,
still had it.
D1. Why doesn't that win?
You right.
Yeah, the white king's no good. Rook D1 wins, then
rook
F5.
D1 and then just F5 and convert the pawn.
That's just a win. And if you play rook F3, I play rook G1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't doubt the Andreev.
My bad.
Yeah.
I expected him to be up 2 pawns, so I counted what was happening, and I was like, he's only got 1 instead of 2. He just played
F5 right away because he knows that it doesn't matter. The white king isn't getting anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, wow. On king D5, he's got check, and on king F4, he plays king F4, and again, he could have check. So.
Yeah, and rook E1 wins too. He's just winning. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
So 4-0 for Andreev.
And yeah, that's pretty confident and impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Color me impressed.
Big win.
All right. How's Sidora doing? Still hanging in
About
there.
Equal? about equal, hanging in there.
Still hanging in there.
Yep.
Gotta cover
Hanging
D6.
around. He has alligator blood hanging around. Yeah. You can't get off this guy.
Okay, but I think objectively thrilling is the Conrad Holt game. Like G5 and F4 played for black. This is a hard position to fully fathom. You know, if I myself were sitting down to play a 6-hour game, I would be happy to have a position like this. You know, because it would be something fun to spend my time on.
Some people have too much fun. Okay, and he did win. Dreyev, 4-0.
Dreyev did win, 4-0. Second 4-0. Congratulations to the surfer. So Dreyev joins Alexander Bortnik. 2 4-0s this week. A 3.5 from Michael Brown.
Wow.
So Dreyev and Brown almost just winning the match on 2 boards instead of 4. Yep. Making it pretty easy.
Got 2 sort of landslides, and then 2 where it's a coin toss, and we thought the Panda match should be a landslide after it was 4-0.
Yeah, of all the matches, that should have been the landslide.
Yeah, and the Destiny are slightly behind the Ruse.
Yeah. All right, so
very complicated
Smirnov Holt. Give me a guess. Who's going to take this one home?
I'll take Smirnov. How's that?
You'll take Smirnov. He's still got that. Still got those amazing bishops, right?
Got bishops.
The more you move your pawns, the more he just carves around them. Black needs to break the light squared blockade on the king side. Hard to see how that happens. Maybe a well-timed like H5 pawn sack would be awesome.
As long as it's well-timed.
Like Rook H8 next, and then maybe you're threatening H5 somehow. Huh? That could be cool.
I think you are threatening H5.
There you go.
So Bishop H5?
Well, Bishop H5 would always stop me, yeah. But then maybe I'll sack my G-pawn. No, that's pretty bad.
I was thinking that. Probably not good, but I was thinking it.
Yeah, not good at all. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, White should have control over this. I'm surprised he's not just playing Knight F5 to deal with his E6 problem. And instead this Rook G6 move, it's not clear why... Oh, he can't play Knight F5 yet. He's got some work to do to untangle. So Black really... He's struggling to find squares for all these pieces. You know, if his Rook goes to F7 off of this diagonal to play Knight F5, there'll be Bishop H5. It's tough to play. Tough to play.
I'm trying to find a very interesting game. And it looks like the Wang Yui game with Mamedyarov is sort of petering out. It looks sort of equalish, and they're trading queens.
They did just trade queens, huh?
And Wang Yui's trying to figure out which way to recapture, with the knight or the pawn.
Both seem acceptable.
He might lose his E4 pawn.
Yeah.
But he's giving it a long think.
He sure is. I mean, it's tempting to get that knight going.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take with the pawn, then I guess you're okay too. Huh.
He's having a big think. You're taking with the pawn, your knight on D2 is terrible, but taking with the knight, you lose your E-pawn, but your knight's great.
Those are the decisions that cause chess players to pull their hair out. I guess you can't really afford to give the E-pawn. I don't know.
In the matchup of the board fours in the San Jose Chengdu match, the Chinese board four is getting the best of it. It's a Benko gambit, and it looks like he won his pawn back.
Whose game are you suggesting?
This is Soggy Cheese.
Soggy Cheese, all right.
Looks like his position's getting a little soggy.
My man. All right.
This board fours, but I'm really interested because these guys are super board fours.
Yeah, this might be the most important matchup of the round, actually, even though everybody wants to see top GMs. But as far as like who's going to take the league, if either of these board fours is really, really strong. That could be the decider here. Banco Gambit gone right, gone wrong. I like black.
Yeah, it looks good for black, and black has a lot more time also.
I love when you win your opponent's pawn on d5 and open the long diagonal in the lines where white has a king on g2. Yeah. This is basically everything that could ever go right for black. So
no, I agree. And the rook on a3 is not good.
So Vinesh has his work cut out for him to prove that he is the board 4 to beat them all.
Those are some tough board 4s they got.
Soggy cheese. It looks like his rook on a3 is kind of trapped. Bishop on c1's not really doing anything. It's looking grim. It's looking straight up grim here.
I agree. And Wang Yui did take with the knight on b3 and then hopped right into c5.
Mm-hmm.
And
then there's a2.
Looks like it's heading towards a draw just because the players are so strong.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's sort of petering out.
Yeah. So how does he get his pawn back here on this line? Bishop
Always
F1.
play bishop f1.
Simple.
That pawn's hard to defend.
Yeah. And if that pawn can't be defended, then Wang Yue is in a pretty comfortable situation.
Yeah. But I'm going to predict draw and leave it up to the board 4s to see who wins this match. The game we were looking at before got even more interesting. The Smirnov-Holt game. That's
pretty cool.
Very confusing. I still like white.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still confused.
If he wants to win, he had to eventually use this plan he did on move 25, which is g3. He has to crack a file open for his rooks. You're never going to win this game without getting a rook into the action. So.
Both sides have 3 minutes, so this is going to be a thrilling finish.
g3, a5 is an accomplishment usually. a6, knight f5.
And this match can go either way also.
Yep. Yep, it's all still in play, friends.
Dallas is down by 1,
still in play.
All 4 games are still going.
And they're board 1. Sadora probably still defending the same position. Yep. Nothing changed there. Their board 2 is a lot more interesting. All right. So, what's white going to do? Rook g2 and rook a to g1 at some point.
Rook f7 was...
I'll say this, no matter how good or bad this position is, I know that Conrad is super good at playing these positions.
Yeah, he has these positions a lot. It's true. I just like white here. The bishop on c5 is much better than the bishop on c6. The a6 pawn is better than the a7 pawn. And black is just really passive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's trying to crash through.
Yep.
Smirnov's decided to crash through on the king side.
Yeah, so what's the follow-up on rook f4? It's just bishop a7?
That's a pawn. That's a passed a pawn. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured he was looking at bishop g6 when he was sitting there thinking, but I hadn't yet noticed the a pawn would hang at the end of it all, but that's why.
And the bishop on c6 can't try to get good by going to the king side because that lets the a pawn get too strong. I think he has to keep it there to stop a8, but that's a pretty passive denouement for the bishop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking really bad on board 4 for San Jose.
Is it? Oof.
Looking pretty bad. Yeah, all those pieces look like they're on the wrong squares.
Soggy.
Doesn't look good. Looks pretty soggy.
Yeah, I mean, this was the kind of position where, you know, white to play here, I was thinking, like, it may not look like much yet to our audience, but, like, it's only going to take 2 or 3 more moves before you just feel that white can't move anything, right? Like
yeah,
e5, 96, e4. Like, look, e4 is already threatened. What do? Bring your rook back to d1.
Rook on a3 is terrible.
Yeah. It's not going to be long till everybody looks at this in horror.
Yeah, this is really good for the pandas.
Looks like Naroditsky has a slight edge against Ju Wen Jun because, again, he managed to sack this h-pawn. and get sort of a better pawn structure, which
Yeah, but
I prefer.
Wen Zhu wants to play knight g1 to f3.
Yeah, let her.
Okay.
I think this pawn structure, it's always better to have like the 1G pawn than the 2H pawns, pretty much. All right. Smirnov. Conrad.
Is it the right Smirnov? It's not Yakov Smirnov?
Yeah.
So
It's
Conrad's
the
getting
right one.
counterplay for his A pawn. But his king on g6 is a little weird also. Knight f1, he wants to put the knight on e3 or g3.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes to e3, then he could try to go to g4 and f6.
That would be quite the route.
Yeah.
That would be really nice. I think that would be the dream here. But as long as the knight's on f1, he's also keeping the knight on g7 honest, because he could go knight g3, queen h5 kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm surprised he hasn't more quickly just played bishop c5 and a7, because like you
Right.
definitely
Yeah,
want
the
that
bishop
on the
on
board
A7
just
is
so
easy.
tactics work out for you. Like
Right.
you don't want this thing hanging, and you want them to worry about you queening at all times.
Rook f3, that's a scary move.
That is so risky.
Rook. Yeah.
That is so risky.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
So they say. Man, I'm not a fan of rook f3 though.
No, I agree. I'd be really afraid to play that. It's playing with fire.
Okay, so knight e3, knight g3, knight e3.
So it's funny. The board fours of the Kangaroos match is 2468 versus 2050.
That's a
And he
little bit
just
of a
won.
rating.
2460 just won. Yeah, that was the advantage that
that they'd been waiting on this whole time.
that's right. Yeah. So the Kangaroos increased their lead. Is that what just
7.5,
happened?
5.5. That's a lot of pressure on the destiny. All right, knight g3, queen f7, bishop c5, and he grabs the pawn on c3. That's because you didn't go to e3, man.
I
You're
thought he
supposed
was
to
going.
block that rook away. I don't know what to say.
Still like white.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not like white's advantage was based on the c pawn, but
Yeah.
still kind of weird to give it.
And somehow Serrano hung a piece against Sidora. So Sidora's going to win.
Well, that could get the destiny back into the match.
How did he hang
That
a
could
piece?
be the
What
break they
happened?
need. I don't know.
Oh.
Let's see. H5,
Yeah,
knight here.
Yeah, if
He's
he
going for
if
some
he-
kind of fancy tactic with
he's
f5.
just losing the king upon ending if he doesn't give the pieces away. He
But
just
there's
missed
just
that.
rook h4.
Very
Oof.
nice tactic by Sidora. So Sidora's going to win.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, he is. So
Dallas is trying to catch up. They're down by
7.5,
2 points.
6.5 is still just anything goes here.
Wow.
And Smirnov just played some complicated moves. I mean, first he plays
Yeah,
f4, trying to
Yeah,
trap the
Holt's
rook
king is
here.
suspicious.
Queen f4 to keep the rook defended. Queen h4, queen e1. Has he trapped this rook?
So
I thought,
rook c2, queen b1.
well, rook takes c2 then. He's
I
got
didn't
it
see
covered,
that.
yeah.
I didn't know rooks could go sideways. Yeah.
So I guess it's going to be b4, but then bishop b4, queen d4, bishop c3. Okay,
Rook
so he's
takes
just got to take
c3.
that. Yeah,
Take that.
take that.
Yep.
He could throw in like rook f6 check at some point so he doesn't get blocked out by the knight.
Well, this is, I mean,
Yeah, here rook
White has a
f6.
passed a pawn and an extra exchange. So, and it's a minute to 7 seconds.
These positions can get blockaded. I would definitely have thrown in rook f6.
The Kangaroos win if he
Oh,
wins this game. Match
because
is
he
over.
played HG, it can't get blockaded. He's seen everything. Smirnov's like
Yeah.
on fire here.
Well, this is the match is over if he wins this game. They're up 7.5, 5.5.
Yeah. All right, so now he's got to play.
Although Sidora is going to win, it'll be 7F 6.5. It still wins the
next move
match.
carefully. Yes, Smirnov could win. That'd be enough, huh?
Yeah. Well, this is obviously winning. I'm sure Rook takes E6 wins.
Well, if rook
Let's
takes
see.
e6 wins, then he's in business.
Yeah. Probably Rook GF2 wins. Rook G3 wins. It all wins. Now Rook takes E6. Rook C3.
What is he?
Is the knight trapped? No, he
No.
can get out. We'll go to D3.
All right.
Okay.
Finally,
It
he
didn't
took what
matter.
we expected. That's
Finally, Rook takes
that's
E6.
a solid. That's a solid thing to take. All right, just go collect some stuff. You can also
Yep,
go for like
check some
a7, rook b8 at some point.
Yeah, he's up the exchange, and he's got a pass pawn.
Yeah.
Black can't activate his rook because
You're
white
right.
has the 2 open files. Can't play rook f8.
You're right. There is
Okay, now I can
nothing
play
that
rook.
can go wrong here.
Now if he takes d4 checks, he took the right piece. So he's hoping Smirnov gets down way down on time. He's got 20 seconds left. That a-pawn looks pretty good. Playing for perpetual. White doesn't believe it. No perpetual.
Yeah, I don't really see it either yet. Seems like the king can come out. Check, check, check. Ooh.
Yep.
If
That
king
A7
E3,
pawn's
there's
looking
knight
good.
F1, so he's got to go to E2 if he wants to get out. And he does.
Rook C7 check. Uh-oh. That's the end of the game. Rook
That's
A6.
lights out,
And
man.
they win the match. Wow.
Smirnov.
By Smirnov. Smirnov got a lot of points, didn't he, David?
Little kangaroo brings it home. He had
I
2
think he got a
before
lot.
this, so he scored a solid 3 out of 4.
And Sidora did win, so they needed that.
Yeah, Sidora won that one. Good defense from him. And he scores 3.5 out of 4 off of that defense. I mean, that was a pretty lucky game to win, but I guess a strong result for him.
Well, there's only one match left.
Yeah.
The Kangaroos win. I think they won 9-7. I think so. And then all 4 games are going in the last match. Pandas are up by 1. The board 4 is crashing through. Black is completely winning.
Yeah. So first of all, the simplest one to look at is this Wang Yue game versus Mamedyarov. It's still an equal material rook and pawn ending, but Mamedyarov's threatening rook to d4 and pushing his d pawn home, or even just d2. I mean, so
could he play rook a7? Does he have time?
he may. If king f1, there's always just rook d1 check, so he doesn't have that. So it's rook h8 or rook a7. Let's see, rook a7.
Right, and king f3, rook d4 wins. So yeah, you have to play one of those 2 moves. You're right.
Rook a7, d2. Yeah, I don't know. It's actually not that simple yet.
He played rook h8.
He went to h8. All right.
So if,
now
if rook
rook
d4, he
d4.
plays rook e8 check and rook e1. But that might lose too. This could be winning for Mamedyarov.
Yeah.
It's an important point because
It's also a candidate move to come up to
so
e5.
The game's over on board 4, David.
It's already over. Yeah.
Chengdu won. Yep. So they're up by 2 points.
And notice how many moves it took. I mean, it only took like 4 moves total to like resign pretty much. I mean, e5, e4, bishop check. The king's just getting
all 3 results are
traumatized.
possible on the other 2 boards. So this match could still go either way.
Well,
Mamedyarov needs to win this game. He has to win.
Yeah.
If, if it's a draw, they're going to lose the match.
All right, we're going to stick with this rook endgame for a moment. I'm going to say that I glanced at the Naroditsky game, and I think that Naroditsky has a big advantage for the hackers there. So they got that going for them. But you're right. They can't give – Chengdu's got 7.5. They can't give them anything more.
That's right.
Nothing more.
Mamedyarov realizes how important this is. He's a fast player, but he's taking his time.
Yeah, he's calculating this very precisely right now. I mean, because there's also the candidate move king e5, right? As well as rook d4.
See, the problem is if white gets his rook to d1 and blocks the pawn and black walks his king up, white has like g4, h5 with counterplay. That's the counterplay he wants.
Mm-hmm. King d7?
That's surprising.
Where's he headed?
Well, yeah, he could have. That was strange, yeah.
Huh.
I don't understand that.
That was very surprising.
I don't understand that.
Now it seems like the white king is active enough.
Now it's a draw. Now he's got nothing. That was a very strange move, king d7. It was almost like it was a mouse slip, like he meant to go to d5. I don't know. That's a crazy move. I think that's a mouse slip, David.
You think so?
Yeah, you don't play the king d7 doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense to me. I don't know.
Wow. That was so strange.
So now not king e3 because of rook e4 check. Trading rooks and then king e4, king f3 for black.
Right, yep.
So rook d1 first. That's correct.
Actually,
what?
Maybe I could have played king e3. And after king e4, I have g4. So maybe.
And then you might still draw, yeah.
Oh, I might win.
No, king f4?
f3? Yeah, then f5 draws, I think. Yeah. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, it'll be a draw.
Yeah.
But okay. I mean, but white's not worse anymore, I don't think.
No.
White's king is fine, and black lost those tempi. Yeah, that looks good for the pandas. So Naroditsky has to win and Azoria has to win to give them a chance. And that could happen.
So if this ends in a draw, that makes it 8-6, and they got to get
it could be 8-8.
Get all the rest of the points.
Yep.
And Azoria's game, which I hadn't looked at yet. Let's have a look. Yeah. Whoa, the pieces are scattered.
It's very crazy. Azoria has 1 minute. His opponent has 2.5.
Yeah.
You.
Since Azoria's won a game down a rook for nothing, we can't count him out no matter what position we have.
Drew that game, David.
Oh, yeah, right. Drew it. Well, it was like, that's like winning. You draw a game down a rook against a GM rated 2,700
I don't mean to quibble.
FIDE.
That's true. I agree. I was
you're
pretty
right.
sure he was going to lose that game.
You're right. I definitely remembered that wrong. It just
now,
it really
minute.
felt that way.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? Is Naroditsky worse?
I don't know. I'm looking at the other game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go back. I'll see. Naroditsky, is he worse? I don't know. His knight seems far away. It used to be on e4.
Now, wait a second. And the last move that white played, queen d4, if he plays queen c7, doesn't that fork 2 pieces?
It does fork 2 pieces. That's right.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
He played queen d4.
Queen b6, maybe? I'm not saying it's good,
Ooh, queen b6.
It avoids resigning instantly.
Wow.
I mean, white should still have done it, but
that's pretty awesome, though. I like that move.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Thank you.
Still good for white, I think. Queen b6 and bishop c7.
Very good for white. They should have definitely tried it.
Both players have no time, so all 3 results possible in both games.
When I liked this position, it was because Danya had a knight on e4. So I don't know why his knight wandered off to a5, but
wow, what happened here in the Mamedyarov game? What's going? I think it's still a draw. Wow.
What did happen?
Yeah, that looks like a draw.
Rook d1, f5, king here, check here, check here, check here.
Yeah, that's still a draw. Okay.
Yeah, he found a way to bail out, I guess.
I think Mamedyarov bailed out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mamedyarov was like, wait a minute, I don't want him to just collect my pawn. Let me bail out. So now king g4 wins this pawn, then it's pawn against pawn, and they can agree to a draw. I'm going to assume.
Yep.
So we're going to move away from that. Naroditsky, Zhu Wenjun. Why is his knight back to a5? Stop! Every time I look back, his knight is not on e4.
Wait, did white just play e4?
He did just play e4.
Wow. What? E4?
Naroditsky definitely had to take that way.
What's happening?
I don't know, but this knight should have been on e4.
I take with a queen. If you take, I take with the queen. Amazing. Then if you take, I play rook d8 and bishop e5.
Yeah. Let's show it. I mean, this knight, why is it on a5?
What's going on here? And black's up a pawn? Yeah. And what's going on in Azoria's game? I don't understand who's better. Azoria has 20 seconds. So they need to win both. It's 8-6, right, David?
They need to win both. Rook f7 was just played. That's a nice solid move, I guess.
8-6. Okay.
What the heck is this thing? All right.
Man, they could get crushed this match or tie the match up.
Or tie the match. Anything's possible.
Really
Xu
possible.
Xiangyu. He's got equal material.
Azoria 17 seconds left.
He's got
55 seconds.
Rook g5 as a candidate move, but then rook f3, I guess, is okay.
It was played rook g5. Rook e2.
Ooh.
I want to play queen e5, but I'm too afraid to play it.
I would
but
go
I want to
queen
play
g6. I would go queen g6. It's a little bit less insane.
Okay.
But still satisfying.
He played queen. He played queen e5.
It's like it's all the same, so I'll do it like that.
Queen e4. That just makes mate.
Well, he had no way to defend g3, did he? You were actually a genius when you suggested queen e5. It was the most winning move.
Queen e5.
Queen e5. That was the winning move.
There's
my
nothing
way.
to do.
My way was wrong. There's nothing to do. I mean,
maybe
g3's done.
you can play queen b3 check and rook takes e4. That's the only thing you can do.
I suppose.
Yeah.
And there might be some way you could play like king h2, and then.
Yeah, maybe king h2.
You survive that, right? Then if they get rook g3, then you go queen e4. All right, so you're right. It was a blunder. This queen e4,
and that's the match.
Just mate in 2, and that's
Chengdu wins.
I guess they just needed anything to fall their way, and that did.
And Naroditsky won.
And Naroditsky won his game.
What happened? Why? Oh, Zhu Wenjun played rook takes e7, just missing queen c5 check, winning the rook. Yeah, just a one move blunder.
Danya got one of those last time too.
Wow, that match turned
some kind of long
totally
distance.
Insane. And Chengdu barely sneaks by with a 9-7 after being up 4-0. Wow, what a match.
Call.
That was the match with 6 grandmasters on 8 boards.
Close call. So
Chengdu and the board 4s were pretty good too.
So Chengdu held on and won their match, but the Dallas Destiny, the other team with 4.5 out of 5, did not. But Chengdu had to hold on against this Hackers team, which continues to score a lot of game points, 7 game points, and like not enough match points.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's quickly check the standings here. And I probably have to refresh them for us to check them. That's logical. So let's go see. If I refresh this. Yep, that worked. So we see the Pandas on top with 5.5 out of 6. And then the Surfers moving up a point, 4.5 out of 6. Destiny dropping a point, still 4.5 out of 6. Kangaroos, 4 out of 6. They made their own destiny there by, beating Dallas and staying in the playoff hunt.
Yep.
And look at this, the Hackers, 60.5 game points, still as many as the Kangaroos, more than the Destiny. And
they've lost more matches than they've won. Wow.
Really trailing on matches. Wow, such a good team. I would say the other 3 teams just feel kind of like out of it right now. I mean, the Ospreys had a great match win today, but it feels like the other 3 teams wouldn't quite be able to compete with the top 5 so far.
Yeah, San Diego and Rio Grande really had smooth wins today, but Rio Grande is still near the bottom.
Yeah. So, well, at the end of last show, we said the Pandas looked good. At the end of this show, we'd say Pandas still look good.
They looked a little shaky in rounds 2 and 3, but they look good.
A little shaky. revealed a new board 4 this week.
So David, if they put 4 board 4s on one of the matches and the average rating is 2,200, can they still tie it up?
Maybe.
They got some good board 4s.
They got some good board 4s.
Wow.
Yeah. If we go to the full standings here with sorry, not standings, but the full point scores here.
Yeah, what's happening with fantasy chess too?
We can see that on board 4, Timur Kuibokarov scored 3 out of 4 for the Kangaroos on board 4.
That's something for you to say.
3 out of 4.
That's Nick 4, Drea 4.
So that's that board 4 that they needed. That
Michael Brown 3.5. Guillermo Vasquez 3.5.
Yep.
Azori and Orlov both getting 1.5 on board 3. Wow, tough board 3.
Yeah, I mean the expected score of a board 3 on average is 1.5.
So
over the course of millions of matches. So Azori and Orlov scored sort of like an expected score for board 3, but Azori is like 2,600 feet AGM. You might think he might outscore that.
Ostrovsky beat Mamajarov last week, and he got half a point this match.
Yeah, he had a
chess
tough
is
one
hard.
this time.
Chess is tough.
Yeah. So Xiao Junyuan scored 2 out of 4 on board 4 for China, so that's another good board 4 for them.
That's more than Zhu Wenjun got.
Yeah. And Anthony Hess still all promise, 0 out of 4, even though it looked like he was beating board 1 in the first round. So
right. Yep.
Once again, it's like talent, promise, and then no points. Well, the Sluggers are going to need some points at some point here. Some actual points. So, yeah, of the low-rated board 4s with sort of like a stacked lineup, Vinesh Ravuri only scored half a point out of 4 for the Hackers. So it's Xiao Junyuan who was like the best performing low-rated board 4. right, for a team running 3 GMs. The really high scores here from Kuibukarov and 1.5s from Stopa or Ruiz. Those are teams that played 2,400 rated board 4s by not having as much power on top. So those are more expected, 1.5s. Yeah. Her two out of 4 is much better than those 1.5s because she's letting the team play all these GMs.
And on Valentine's Day, David, you got to have power on top. So that's an important thing for the matches. Hard to respond to that, isn't it?
Yeah, you got me. I'm not an expert on Valentine's Day.
No?
I don't celebrate. I'm a non-celebrating.
Yeah, we sort of non-celebrated today too. We celebrated with the Pro Chess League.
Yeah,
that was a good way to celebrate because the Pacific Division's in red, so that's good for Valentine's Day.
Is that the official color of Valentine's Day?
There you go. Exactly. You got to have heart.
Got it. Wonderful. All right. So I guess that basically does it for us this week. We've seen all the top performers. Impressive 4-0s for Bortnick and Dreyev again. So maybe a breath of life for the Rio Grande Ospreys, but they're going to need to win sort of like every match like this to get back into the playoffs, I think, at this point. So yeah, fare thee well, all our chess friends. We'll see you at the next chess time.
Yep, that was great matches, exciting as always. I think next Wednesday there's no Pro Chess League, unless I'm wrong.
Unless you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
All right, we'll check.
We'll find out.
Schedule.
Yeah.
The schedule says that the next match is on February 24th. That'll be the next Saturday, 10 days from 10 days from now. So you were right.
I'm occasionally right. Occasionally. It's after midnight, so I could be right today now. All right, guys, I'm streaming in 11 hours. Don't tell my doctor. GM Benjamin Feingold on Twitch. Watch my stream. Rawr.
All right.
8 a.m.
That gives you enough time to get a good night's sleep, everybody.
Well, something like that. Yeah.
No problem.
A good night and a good bishop.
All right. Yep. Till Saturday the 24th.
Yep.
Bye.